All right. What's up, JC? Jerry, South to West. What's up, Bob Brown? Is this a safe place? It is. Today it is, anyway. All right. Last time we did one of these, we met and followed Divorce Dave, as he came to be known to us, which I think led to three really fun, interesting streams learning about his divorce, and it ended up being quite a spectacle by the end. I don't know if this one will reach that level, but I thought it was interesting and it's definitely Boyd. So meet Erin Iverson. She has 132 subscribers. This is a 24-part series. Her entire page is dedicated to this. She just joined June 8th, so this is a very new story, and she's got 25K overall views. So it started with this, and I don't know if it's maybe imported over from TikTok, maybe, or something. So if she's like a big thing over there, I don't know. But at least here, she's got pretty modest views. They start off at 1,000, but then like taper off. And I think her latest ones were, I want to say, were down in the couple hundreds. But in any case, here is we're going to go through the breakup journey with Erin Iverson. This is part one. We need to talk.
Erin. This is part one of my series where my partner of 7 years blindsided me and left me for her assistant at work. Quick disclaimer, I am going to read a lot of screenshots. Names will be changed.
Let me
And
take this
also,
back. Do you remember we watched a similar like TikTok compilation during the Divorce Dave arc of the lady whose husband went like trans during their divorce?
hi, I'm Erin. This is part one of my series where my partner of 7 years blindsided me and left me for her assistant at work. Quick disclaimer, I am going to read a lot of screenshots. Names will be changed. And also, some information may be redacted just because this is my story that I want to share, and I don't need to spill everything about somebody else's trauma just in case her name ever came out.
Italian style
Um,
soda blood
because that's
orange.
not who I am as a person. So I will do my best to protect information that isn't necessary to the story while giving you the full picture of what happened. So it all starts with a trip to Pensacola, Florida. I went there to visit some of my friends. I go to Pensacola quite often. I travel quite often for work.
She
That's
does look
a
like
big
she's
piece
in
of
good
this
shape.
story. And I was there for maybe 10 days, like just a couple weeks. And then I came home. In the time that I was there, everything was completely normal. We are texting like normal. There's some, as people in relationships do, we send some risque photos.
Uh-oh.
There's lots of I love yous, lots of I miss yous, FaceTime videos, phone calls, all of the normal things. So 7 years of complete normal. That's kind of how we always operate. We aren't those people who have to text all day long, but we do have quite a few text exchanges throughout the day. So whole time I'm in Florida, we're like a couple hours apart because she's on California West Coast time and then I'm on in the Panhandle, so I'm on Central time.
Panhandle.
And every night it's I love you, every night it's a phone call, every night it's I miss you so much, I can't wait until you get home, texting each other, counting down the days until we see each other, which is typical for us.
Do all American cars have sunroofs? I don't think all do. Do you want me to make a sunroof vlog like this sometime?
And I come home around midnight on a Saturday. She picks me up from the airport. We get home, get to bed, get to snuggle, like, missed her so much. And the next day is a Sunday, and I have a meal prep business. So I meal prep on
Mm.
Sundays. She had already told me she had plans with one of her friends,
Nutritionist, like a part of a personal trainer deal, maybe, south to west on the food prep.
which is the coworker. And she was going to go help her find an apartment because her and her girlfriend had broken up. So she was needing to find a new place to live. A is my partner, was going to go help her, and they were going to have a girls' day. Cool, fine.
Why are you, if you have two vehicles, why are you living under a bridge?
She does her thing, I do my thing all the time because I have a very secure attachment style. I don't get insecure. I don't care what you do. Just go have fun. So she goes out and I do my meal prep. And my meal prep only took me a few hours, which usually it does take me all day. So I had texted her asking her, "Oh, are you still looking?"
It's good for the aesthetic, Bob.
And she said, "No, actually, we decided to get a resort pass at one of the local hotels, and they did a girls' day at the pool." I was like, "Oh, okay, fun. Like, that's great." Which I was kind of sad because I had just been gone for 10 days. And then prior to that, I was in Zion for a week. So,
Zion.
I mean, I missed her. So I was a little bummed. But I was done around 3.
I mean, it's set up like it's her account. I don't know. I feel like maybe she might be, some people are popular on TikTok, but not on YouTube and vice versa. I don't know. I mean, yeah, her page has 132 subscribers. Some of the videos go up to like 1K, but a lot of them are, well below that.
3:00, and come 8 p.m., I'm ready to go to bed. So I start getting ready for bed. I had texted her and she told me that she was going to get dinner and then she was going to be home.
Look how she says dinner, she's a problem.
She told me that she was going to get dinner and then she was going to be home. There was an accident. Told me that she was going to get dinner and then she was going to be home. There was an accident and I went to sleep without home. There was an accident and bed. I had texted her and she told me that she was going to get dinner and then she was going to be home. There was an accident and I went to sleep without waiting up for her. I was super sad, but that was literally the first time anything in our entire relationship had happened. Like, even remotely close.
I drank some kind, I don't remember what it was. It might have been maybe the Caruso's or something, but I picked up some kind of soda that said that it was brewed with, or it promised that it was brewed with like actual Rocky Mountain stream water.
To that. So it wasn't that big of a deal to me. And then the whole week after, everything was pretty normal. We had a friend over for dinner. I hosted. We had
what about your
people in and
Tesla?
out of the house. I got the house in order from me being gone for so long, and we carried on with the week. She's pretty busy with work, which all of that is very typical, but I felt like we hadn't had a ton of us time.
South to West,
so
did you see the new emotes?
Went and picked up a chocolate peanut butter brownie from Nectarine Grove on Friday. I was super stoked to have a date. I texted her telling her that I made plans for us tonight. I had arranged a driver to pick up our bikes. My idea was to e-bike to the beach, go to a Michelin for dinner, and then get a driver to take us back home, really have some connecting time because I felt like we hadn't had that in just a little bit because of travels. So I text her. I was like, I have a surprise for you. She gets home and immediately, like, I just feel weird. And I was like, "Hey, did you try the chocolate peanut butter brownie? It's in the fridge. Like, I think you'll really like it." And she was not really concerned about my chocolate peanut butter brownie.
Oh, did you hear that?
I think you'll really like it. And she was not really concerned about my chocolate peanut butter brownie.
Wow, listen to that.
I think you'll really like it. And she was not really concerned about my chocolate peanut butter brownie. And I was just adamant about her trying this damn brownie. And then she was like, out of nowhere, "I think we need to talk." And I was like, "Oh, okay, like, yeah, let's talk." In the 7 years we've been together, we've had one disagreement, and that was maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And at the time, it was because I was a nanny full-time, and she wanted to have kids and get married and all of the things. And I was like, yeah, okay, kids aren't really on my list, especially right now. I don't feel like I have the capacity to do that. if that's something that you need. At that time, I probably would have been okay us walking away from each other. Um, if kids were something that was that big of a deal to her. But of course, we let the next 3 or 4 years go on and we never really talked about it again. So she's told me when she started this conversation of we need to talk with, I feel like I haven't been living in my values. And she starts bawling.
I haven't been living in my
And
values.
I value conversation. So she's told me when she started this conversation of we need to talk with, I feel like I haven't been living in my values. And she starts bawling.
Oh boy.
And I couldn't get her to say any words, which this is a very typical thing for her, where she gets really emotional and isn't able to formulate sentences. So I just go over to her, I give her a hug, I embrace her. I am like, baby, it is okay. It is just me. Talk to me. Tell me what is going on.
Gentle lesbian energy.
So she's like, one, two, it's like, can't get it out. And I was like,
Bethadones,
okay,
Bob.
like, if you want to get married, like, let's go get married tomorrow. There's a whole story there, but a couple years ago, we were supposed to go to Tanzania, hike Kilimanjaro. My idea was to propose then. I always call her my wife. I call her my wife to everyone, but legally on paper, we are not married. But I'm not saying girlfriend after all of the years that we've had together, and partner, I'm not saying that. So I've always said my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife, my wife. And
fantastic.
So then I was going to propose. She wouldn't take the time off of work. Things didn't work out. So then the idea was this year, January, February, hike Kilimanjaro. I'm going to propose at the top of Kilimanjaro. It's going to be this whole thing, whatever. So I tell her, if marriage is what you're wanting, like, let's go get married. Like, we can go get married tomorrow. That's no big deal. But kids, that's a topic we have to talk about. So we start talking about kids, and I'm like, I'm not a traditional person. Kids aren't something that I saw for myself.
She's well, I don't know if she's a lesbian.
We want children. We talk about how that looks for us. In several points in our relationship, we had talked about fostering. We had talked about adopting. We had talked about all sorts of different things, but she really had this idea that she wanted biological
Don't sniz shame her.
She wanted biological children that are her DNA. And I'm not going to carry. Like, that was never a question. And I'm also not a traditional person. So I just told her, well, if you want to have kids, we could always do the van life thing. The kids can go in the van. I don't want them going to public schools. Maybe we leave the U.S. This isn't really
there was just something about this when I saw it in my algorithm, and I was like, because if you didn't know, like, if you're just looking at thumbnails, like, I would have thought this was just like kind of a normie TikTok, but I'm liking where we're going here. If she wants kids, it's got to be van life, no public schools.
A place that I want to be long term, and things just got kind of heavy from there.
I got to hear it one more time. I'm sorry.
Kids, we could always be a traditional person. So I just told her, well.
Hey, what's up, Ananjay? Hey, Ananjay, did you see the new emotes? Check these out. We got some killer ones. Van kids with no education, correct.
If you want to have kids, we could always do the van life thing. The kids can go in the van. I don't want them going to public schools. Maybe we leave the U.S.
I feel like this is really going to be good.
This isn't really a place that I want to be long term. And things just got kind of heavy from there.
Okay, so there's part 1. Here's part 2, going to the beach. So yeah, this is super fresh 2 weeks ago.
Part 2 of my series where my partner blindsided me, cheated on me, and left me for her assistant at work. So at this point, we're having the conversation of marriage and kids. And in this conversation, it feels very heavy, but I'm not really sure as to why it feels so heavy. But this is the first real conversation that we had had about this in, like I said, 3-4 years. So I can tell she's taken back that my viewpoints have quite
significantly shifted from our previous conversation, but that was 4 years ago. So, we're crying on the couch. We're cuddling. It's I
We're
love you. I
crying
love
on
you.
the
I love you.
couch.
I love you. I love you. I love you. Kissing, 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 kissing. And at the time, all I know is I'm crying because I'm mourning the idea of the life that I thought I was going to have for the next few years, because I'm open to having children and I'm open to talking about having kids and moving forward. And at this point, I had fully disclosed to her my intentions of proposing on the top of Kilimanjaro. And I didn't really want to
What a
disclose
badass.
that, but I was like, I just felt like it was going to be a grandiose gesture. And now I've kind of just shown my cards, which is fine because I mean, it didn't feel like a breakup conversation, but it felt like these are things that I need in my life and these are my values and this is what I want. And I was willing to accommodate that. So we're laying on the couch and it's just very like, we're hanging out. And I was like, I don't want to go to dinner. I don't want to go on that date. And she was like, oh my God, me either. Like, this is good. And it gets late and I'm like, I'm going to go upstairs. So she comes upstairs with me. She does all of the things for me, make sure I have water, gets me my Nod Pod, my mouth tape, all of my things, because she very much takes care of me like before bed. And she's like, I'm going to plug in your car. And she's just being very attentive. But she kisses me, tells me she loves me, goes downstairs because she's not ready to go to bed. And I'm like, okay. So
I'm Team Erin so far.
both of us are very busy on the weekends. So I have personal training clients. I have meal prep. I nanny.
There you go,
She
personal
does
trainer.
personal training. So she had stuff to do in the morning and I had stuff to do in the morning. And we both get home around 2 o'clock, 2, 3. And she's in the shower. So I come upstairs. I'm in the closet while she's showering. And she gets out and
What? You're in the closet while she's showering?
And when I tell you I know this woman's schedule, I know everything about her. I have studied her for the last 7 years.
Yo, what? What? I've studied her?
I know before she sneezes. I know when
Oh
she's
no, this isn't looking good for me. I can kind of tell when Grace is going to do a classic Grace Thorpe nose blow.
gonna take a shit. I know when she's gonna shave. I know
I got to hear all this one more
this
time.
woman's schedule. She's showering. And she's in the shower. So I come upstairs. I'm in the closet while she's showering. And she gets out. And when I tell you I know this woman's schedule, I know everything about her. I have studied her for the last 7 years. I know before she sneezes. I know when she's going to take a shit. I know when she's going to shave. I know everything. She doesn't shower in the middle of the day. That's not a thing for her. She's never done that. Ever. So I already am like, what is she doing? And when I get out of the closet and she's coming out of the shower, I'm like, where are you going? And I have an attitude. And I never have an attitude, not with her. And I don't yell. I've, to this point, never cussed at her. I have,
to this point,
never raised my voice at her. I have a very outward attitude towards her. And she's like, oh, I'm getting ready to go to.
Well, isn't that kind of, don't people talk about that as being like a sign of cheating in general? Just like changes in shower routines, or like showering before you're leaving to do something that you wouldn't ordinarily, need a shower for, or like showering immediately when you get home from something. And this chick, obviously, she's saying herself that she studied, which, that's apex predator behavior.
The beach with coworker.
Can you imagine that? What? Oh, I just had a vision. You got to take a shit? Yeah. Oh, amazing. Synchronicity.
And I'm like, oh? And she's like, what? You're mad? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm mad. And she's like, why are you mad? And I'm like, because I've been gone. Then we had this conversation last night. I don't know where we stand right now. And you are just getting ready to go to the beach with your friends. And she's like, I know it's not a great time.
Man, she would make a great like Lifetime villain.
time, but I'm gonna
She could be real sweet and innocent at the beginning, and then it slowly turns psychotic. Which maybe that's what's happening.
DD. I'm supposed to pick everyone up, and I was like, we need to talk first because, mind you,
Grace
we had
has an
that
odor.
conversation the night before, and then didn't see each other in the morning, and then she's ready to go run off to the beach. So we end up sitting in our room, and we're having the same conversation,
Dude, where's my
but
car?
a little bit different, kind of rehashing the night prior. And
Good times,
it's
Parbs.
going on and on and on, and it's still the same conversation of marriage and kids, marriage and kids, marriage and kids. And I didn't know anything at this time, so of course I'm just like, marriage and kids. And she's like, I feel like you're throwing a Hail Mary to save the relationship. And I'm like, I wasn't given an option. Like, you kind of brought this up out of the blue. And so we're crying, going back and forth, and it's a very productive conversation, but she ends it early. She's like, I really need to go pick them up. They're waiting on me, whatever. And I'm just kind of like, okay, fine, we can table it for later. So she says, I love you. We go downstairs together. I was like, what time are you going to be done? She was like, I don't know. I'm thinking like 8:39. I was like, I had responsibilities that evening. I was house sitting for someone and watching their cats. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be home. I'm going to wait for you, whatever. And she goes off to the beach.
I think they're all about her breakup.
And I'm kind of frustrated, so I don't text her a ton. I text her like spotty here and there.
You're shitting at odd hours. Is something going on? Is there someone else?
And then this is where screenshots come in. So she is at the beach pretty late at night, like a lot later than what she typically would be at the beach. We are those people
Rubber bands
who
and
go
rotten
to bed
cabbage.
at 8:30 every single night.
I bet she just smells like dirty pussy, probably. TBH. She doesn't. She openly admits like she doesn't shower that much. All right, here we go. Part 3, the text exchange. Oh, look what's in the next one. She's part 4. She slept with her.
Part 3 of my series where my partner blindsided me, cheated on me, and left me for her assistant at work. Yes. So at this point, she is at the beach with her coworkers. The coworker in which her assistant she cheated on me with, we're going to call her Kay. So she is there. It is now 10:30 at night. And she texted me that they are packing up the beach and everyone is wasted. And it started raining. I said, I cast a spell, did a rain dance. She goes, I'm sure you did. So I call her and she's still there. It's like 11:30 now. And she's like, my car got locked inside Mission Bay. And I'm like, I'm frustrated. And very clearly frustrated because if you've ever been to Mission Bay in San Diego, you know.
Sorry about that.
There are signs everywhere that parking closes from 10 to like 4 or 6 a.m. or something of the sort. So I'm just swallowing my words. And she says that they parked, Ubered, went to a spot, get back to her car, car's locked. So then she tells me she's going to Uber to Kay's house. She's going to take Kay's car to our house. And she's going to drive Kay's car to her personal training clients in the morning. Flags are going off for me at this point in my head. And I'm just like, I don't give my car to my friends. Like, it just felt weird. It all was weird. So around midnight, I text her and I said, I think you make interesting choices as of late. I am not sure if this is a cry for help, but your actions are pretty disappointing. The words you say to me don't match your actions, and my intuition has never
I love the text reading.
Okay. She responds.
This makes me think that it's that it is legitimate and not just somebody trying to viral farm because she's not showing them unless it's a repost. But even even if it was a repost, like I feel like whoever made the original video would have put the texts up there. That would have been the retention way. I think people would prefer that than just hearing them read out.
My intuitions are not to disappoint you. May I ask what you are referring to regarding my actions not matching my words? I said, your circle reflects you. Just remember, you are a compilation of the 5 people.
Listen to this message.
People you surround yourself with. You. Actions not matching my words? I said, your circle reflects you.
Your circle reflects you.
Just remember, you are a compilation of the 5 people you surround yourself closest with. I told you I was going to wait up at home for you. You
Vegan
said you would keep me
Patriot, Grace
posted.
Thorpe,
That did not
Methadone
happen.
Clinic.
So I made my way down to San
Eric
Diego
McHenry.
to care for the cats. I was house sitting.
Heathen.
It's fine. I just think you make interesting choices. I cry my heart out to you and say, let's table it so that you can go get trashed on a beach with your friends.
Ooh.
Who in that circle are you wanting to be like? Joe, our dog, is sick. I took him potty and it was like he hadn't peed all day. He was crying nonstop, not sure if he had any of his meds before you left. Our friend fed him.
You don't find her to be relaxing?
She responds, I understand what you are saying. I am not here to disagree or argue your points. The timing was...
I don't know. I guess it kind of reflects in the content that I like to watch, but I really don't. It doesn't I know some guys don't like to hear, like, women trauma dump about, like, their other negative experiences with women, but I find it to be very relaxing.
Wasn't great for my hangout with my friends for sure. I hope it's okay for me to text this, but since we're already talking, I've gotten to a point where I feel pretty alone even when you are here. I don't feel a ton of togetherness, so in my mind, you have a busy schedule on the weekend, and I want to go do things. I have a huge role in the lack of togetherness, so I don't want you to feel like I am blaming anything on you.
Lack of togetherness. That's something the Thorpes definitely don't have to worry about.
And you may feel we have a ton of togetherness. I am home, by the way, well after midnight.
Ooh.
I said, I have only felt the lack of togetherness since I got home from Pensacola, which is why I was really making an effort to plan a date, just the 2 of us
So the problem started while she was in the panhandle.
Yesterday, but there is a common denominator in who you have chosen to spend your time with. I don't ask permission and I don't expect you to either, but it's common courtesy for you to tell me of your plans, and you didn't do that until you were walking out the door this week or last. Mind you, she went with Kay to the hotel resort pool the weekend prior, and now this week she's walking out the door going with Kay and 2 other coworkers to the beach. Felt weird. Then I said, I felt really alone last Sunday when I went to sleep by myself after having been gone for 3 weeks. My meal prep only took me 3 hours. That was a choice that you made, and it felt not so great, but that's the first time anything like that had happened, so I let it go, but it doesn't make it hurt less. Mind you, this is probably the first actual argument we've ever had in our entire relationship. She said, I do not mean to hurt you, and I'm sorry for the decisions that I have made that left you feeling upset. I think a lot has been on my mind.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that for a second. See if you guys think this is an interesting idea. This concept of, oh, our relationship was super strong because we never fought. But if you're not, I think is there a case to be made that if in the beginning of your relationship you had, and I'm not saying big problems, but like little arguments here and there, you kind of learn each other's, you start to learn when somebody's mad for real and when they're not. And maybe if you don't have that, you know what I mean? Is there a case to be made for that it's actually more of a red flag if you don't have any fights?
Trying to process and understand so that I can talk to you about it, but I've kind of emotionally shut down. Thank you for your note. I wrote her a note and put it on the bathroom mirror saying, I love you always.
I think he's just messing with you.
She wasn't going to get home
Scott.
until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And then she responds to the note and says, I love you too. I respond to her. I say, by shutting out the one person who is in this relationship with you. I know people process differently, but while I feel sick and have cried so hard my teeth hurt, you go out with your disorderly friends.
No, I'm not playing this at 1.5 speed.
Who you have shallow connections with. Lean on someone.
That's one thing a lot of people hate about my channel is that like a lot of the A-loggers watch stuff at like 1.5 or even sometimes 2 times speed. and I can't do it.
Unlike our friend who knows you and knows us. She said, the hard part for me is that I do not want our friend involved in how I'm feeling when it has anything to do with us. In my eyes, it's not fair. I never share anything with her, but I know that you do. I have my friend who lives in Texas who I talk things through with, but she isn't here. Fine. It goes on, and she says, or I respond, I don't think it's fair for you to pour into people who don't actually know.
XPW just came back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 copyright claims.
You either. It's shitty. And when we're going through something, I feel like we should be even more united and locked in with one another to weather the storm. I have an endless amount of love in my heart, but I also have strict boundaries. And once they have been crossed, it is really hard for me to ever feel safe again. And I'm just telling you that at this juncture, my boundaries are being tested and I'm at my limits. I am feeling disrespected and used. She said, I am hearing you and I understand.
Lesbians sound exhausting. I think there's something to be said for watching the stuff in like real time. I feel like it helps me keep an attention span, helps. It's like exercising my attention span.
I am sorry that my actions have led you to feeling disrespected and used.
Lesbians sound exhausting.
That is never my intention.
Would you wear a t-shirt that said that though?
I respond with, it sounds like your response was manufactured.
Could be one for the shop.
She said, no, I'm just trying to be logical and not argumentative in the slightest, because I do hear what you are saying and I understand why you are feeling the way that you are. I then respond with, I am frustrated. I think I am feeling emotionally exhausted. I'm really angry with you, and I don't think that is an emotion I have ever felt towards you. I have never felt even a remote ounce of anger towards this woman in my entire life. So that's why I'm having a hard time processing this feeling. But I digress. Back to the message. I said, I am angry that you bottle things up until they explode. I am angry that you act as though you are afraid of talking to me when I have never given you any reason to fear me. I do my best to show up as the softest version of myself for you. And that's not a version of me anyone has ever gotten to.
This woman is an artist.
Experience before. I am angry at who you surround yourself with when I see you as being so much better than them. I am angry that you say you want one thing, children, and I compare it to the dog. And still tonight you show me in my face that you going out is more important than caring for him. I don't want to feed him. I don't want to walk him. I don't want to get his vet records. I don't want to take him to the park and play fetch because I am tired and I didn't want the responsibility, but I do it. I do it because I do love him despite not ever wanting that responsibility for myself. I say my love language is acts of service, but I feel fucking enslaved to my house chores sometimes. I feel like I don't get help, and that's where—
Whoa! Holy shit.
I don't want to walk him. I don't want to get his vet records. I don't want to take him to the park and play fetch because I am tired and I didn't want the responsibility, but I do it. I do it because I do love him despite not ever wanting that responsibility for myself. I say my love language.
Luke and April did not have a relationship. Luke and April were like a fling at best. Like that was always doomed from the start. If April would have been rich enough to where she could sugar mama him, it might have worked out long term, but
language is acts of service, but I feel fucking enslaved
should
to
have
my
been a
house chores
one-night
sometimes.
stand.
I feel like I want to take him to the park and play fetch because I am tired and I didn't want the responsibility, but I do it. I do it because I do love him despite not ever wanting that responsibility for myself. I say my love language is acts of service, but I feel fucking enslaved to my house chores sometimes.
Fucking
I feel like I don't
enslaved
get
to my
help, and that's where
house
all of
chores.
this burning
McHenry.
disdain for never wanting children has come from. Not from you, but from birth. I have been raising children my whole life, starting with my sisters and parents.
Uh-oh.
I was the neighborhood babysitter. I have nannied, I have diaper changed, I have gone to so many parent-teacher meetings and dance recitals and birthday parties that I am just tired. I am so tired. I'm so tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to have to ask you about the dishes in the sink or switching the laundry over. I have
This is
been
like
the
a
primary
symphony to
person
me, south
responsible
to
for
west.
feeding us since the beginning of time, and that has always been my role. You help me sometimes, and I know you try, but I feel like keeping the house together is a thankless task, and I feel alone in that too. So why on fucking earth would I wish more work upon myself? That is why I have to go reconnect. So why on fucking earth would I wish more work upon myself?
Yes.
That is why I have to go reconnect sometimes.
Based.
It's nice to only have to worry about taking care of myself. I said that because
This is Erin Iverson. She is finding out that her wife is likely cheating on her.
I go backpacking and I go hiking and whatever. And that's why
Ric
I have
Flair
to do
list
that,
stuff.
because I have so many responsibilities. But back to my message, I said, and that's why I say my love language is acts of service. Because if love is just putting away your dishes and washing your laundry and helping you walk the dog, I will spend the rest of my life doing those things because it makes your days easier. I want to make your days easier. And I don't know where or when or how, but somehow when I was putting away the dishes, I
Let's
started making your
go.
days harder. My life doing those things.
This is it. What a performance.
Because it makes your days easier. I want to make your days easier. And I don't know where or when or how, but somehow when I was putting away the dishes, I started making your days harder.
Let's go.
And maybe it was my fault too for not telling you that I was sacrificing my own happiness to keep our world going around. But I've been wanting help for a long time too. But not help like I want my dishes to be the only ones I have to put away, you know?
Man, what a promo. Holy shit. All right, here we go. Part 4, and she slept with her. I am not first of all, I'm not feasting off her sorrow. Let's get that straight immediately. I am, however, feasting on her aura. She's a baddie for sure. She got the big attitude, super expressive.
Part 4 of my series where my partner blindsided me, cheated on me, and left me for her assistant. Yes. Okay. So we're at my text message exchange with her, and I have just finished saying, like, I don't want
Bob Brown, I think in the last video, she was reading the text messages between she and her ex.
my dishes to be the only dishes that I have to put away. She says, I'm sorry that I've caused you to get to this point of anger. I am grateful that you give me a version of yourself.
No. I'm not an energy vampire. I provide the attention to the content
that no one has ever gotten to have. I have only ever wanted to emotionally connect with you as deeply as possible. I know that you give me the best version of you and that you intentionally try to accommodate my needs. I cannot pretend to understand the responsibilities that you've had to take on since a child. I didn't realize that you have been so frustrated and feeling enslaved to the household chores. Those are things that I would be more than happy to help with, but I guess I didn't realize how frustrated you were. I could have done a better job at taking initiative, knowing that you are left to do it all. I could not care less left to do it all.
Oh, look at that.
Initiative, knowing that you are left to do it all.
Now that's nourishing.
I could not care less if the laundry gets done exactly when it's supposed to. I care about a present partner who remembers things about my day, who wants to spend quality time, who wants to emotionally connect and just have a conversation about life, and shares a special type of intimacy that no one else could come close to. Who can share things with me because they know it's important for me to feel connected. These things matter to me. When I don't have them, I do not feel like I'm in a partnership. I'm sure you feel the same way regarding support with acts of service. She said, I understand what you are saying, and I appreciate you sharing this. I am grateful, and I am grateful that you want to make my days easier because I've only ever wanted the same for you. I want you to be happy and feel supported. The dishes being done do not make me feel loved. I do not care about the fucking dishes, but I do care about your happiness and understand your love language, so I know that would make you feel loved and supported. I responded, I am really tired, but sometimes the sleep I really want is the kind I don't think we get to experience here. So I check off my daily list of,
I don't know. I would think she's in her 20s, wouldn't you think?
I got 8 hours,
I'll be right back.
I fed myself, I moved my body, and I showed gratitude. I really try to ground myself each day. I feel so lucky to experience love within that list. You make me feel love. But I'll be honest, I don't have the capacity for more. I've spent so much time trying to explain that I finally get to feel what it's like to be happy in my days, and that's because of a choice that I make every single day, and it's just really tiring. She said, what do you mean by sleep that you want is the kind you don't get to experience here? I said, I'm just really tired, my love. She said, I don't want to make this about me, but that answer scares me. I said, stop. I mean, my spirit is drained. She said, I am sorry I have been a variable in that. And capacity for more of what? I said, it is not you. I'm saying I don't have the capacity to have a child. She said, I know. I am not trying to challenge or stretch your capacity for that. Mind you, at this point,
stretch your capacity.
The only thing I think we are talking about is marriage and kids. And marriage, I already said I wanted to do. I want to do that. Kids, I just said we can do it. but I need help. That's what all of this is just me saying, I need some help.
Parbs, I can feel it's running. It's like remember Ben was telling us how much he loved morphine when he got it? This is like morphine for me. Like I can feel it like re-energizing me.
Because in 7 years, all I have done is take care of everything. I do the yard, I do the cooking, I do the cleaning. And when I say cooking, I mean I'm culinary trained. I cook fabulous meals.
Let's go.
And I love to do it. But all I think we are talking about is marriage and kids. I need help, is all. She is a salaried employee and chooses to work crazy amounts of hours, whereas I very much chill. I work 4 or 5 hours a day.
You're siding with her ex, Bob Brown.
Max, because I work for myself.
You guys are really stressed out by her. I find her to be relaxing.
But I digress. I go back to the messages. She said, I'm not trying to challenge or stretch her capacity for that. I said, I have to sleep. She said, okay.
I'd like to be in like a hammock, you know, like smoking a pipe in a hammock on like a warm day. And she's just kind of sitting next to me, telling me this story.
You. I said, sleeping without you makes all of this feel
salaried
worse
employee.
She said, I agree with you. So the next day rolls around. She has training in the morning. She had her clients, because remember, she took Kay's car to go train her clients. And I have meal prep in the morning. I am nannying later in the afternoon. So I have a little gap in the middle of my day. I finished the meal prep early in the morning. I had stayed down in San Diego house sitting. So I come back up to home and I finish that. I get done. I'm probably finished around noon-ish. And I asked her if she would like to go with me when she got home from her personal training clients to go back.
What an amazing algorithm pull. This is I mean, it shows you the algorithm works. This is pretty much tailor-made for Fusion Studios.
Down to take care of the animals that I was caring for in the house before I had to nanny. So she says yes. Mind you, we've been going back and forth for 2 days at this point, and all that we've been talking about is marriage and kids Friday. Saturday was the beach day. Marriage and kids. Had that whole conversation until like 2 o'clock in the morning over text message. And I said I needed to sleep. And then she gets home from her personal training clients and we...
Oh, hey, Matt. How's it going, man?
I need to go take care of the house. So I'm like, you want to come with me? And she's like, yes, sure. So we get in the car and she is clearly nervous in the passenger seat. She's like fidgeting around and I'm like,
Well, oh no, where were we at? Does anybody know? Shoot. I don't know where we were at in this thing.
cook fabulous meals. And I love
fabulous
to do it.
Meals. Okay.
It's handed to me when I get back from a trip. I'm like, had a fight. We've never have kids and the dogs in the car.
Isn't she kind of don't you feel like she's resistant to being a parent? She's like explaining that she can't do it. She can't handle the stuff at home now, let alone with kids. She's saying that like she has to have help if her wife wants to have kids.
And the everything, because this feels really out of the blue. Mine. Who promised you the white picket bed? Can I ask you, who promised you the world? And she's like, what do you mean? And I said,
wow, dude, that is ice cold.
You the world. I said, can I ask you, who promised you the world? And she's like, what do you mean? And I said, who promised you the white picket fence and the house and the 2.5 kids and the dogs and the cars and the everything? Because this feels really out of the blue. Mind you, we have never had a fight. We've never had
I'm in. I am all in. I'm team Erin to the end.
Fight. We had one everything, because this feels really out of the blue. Mind you, we have never had a fight. We've never had a fight. We had one.
Whoa.
We have never this and the 2.5 kids and the dogs and the cars and the everything, because this feels really out of the blue. Mind you, we have never had a fight. We've never had a fight. We had one conversation about kids.
Erin, content queen. Wow.
4 years prior. So when this is handed to me when I get back from a trip, I'm like, things feel weird. So I asked her, who promised you this? And she looks at me and she goes, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have feelings for Kay. And I said, I knew it.
I think you could have like a situation where like she's kind of resentful toward her wife for having like that level of control and expectations of her, and then the wife could be resenting her for being able to have a more, what she certainly views likely as like a much more carefree lifestyle. And then in her mind too, probably she might think that Erin is getting mad over things that aren't that big of a deal. But I mean, this energy is it's I mean, this is some generational aura.
I knew it. And then I said, did you sleep with her? And she starts crying, and she said, yes. So I looked at her. Mind you, I had never cussed at her a day in my life. I don't raise my voice at her. I don't yell at her. She is somebody that I see as a precious little egg, and I have...
Egg. We got a real egg synchronicity going lately. McHenry's getting an egg.
Glued her pieces back together, and she is fragile.
This is toxic femininity. Just mainline it to me then. Just get it direct into my system as quickly as possible.
So I treat her like she is fragile, and I look at her and I said,
wow. All right, part 5, I'm not staying with her. Ooh, part 6, reconciliation. Nice.
Part 5 of my story, where my partner of 7 years blindsided me, cheated on me, and left me for her assistant at work. Okay, so at this point, we are in the car, we are driving. I asked, did you sleep with her? She said yes. She's crying.
She's crying.
This woman. And I said, for TikTok viewing purposes, F
there you go.
You. And then I said, F you again. And then I said, F you again. And then I said, F you again. And I was like, I want to crash this car.
Yes.
And I said, F you again.
So
yes.
She probably posted these on TikTok and then is just posting them here like as a backup or whatever.
She's crying. I don't cuss at this woman. And I said, for TikTok viewing purposes, F you. And then I said, F you again. And then I said, F you again. And then I said, F you again. And I was like, I want to crash this car.
Hell yeah.
And I start rattling off questions. I said, was it good for you? Did you think about me? How many times? How long ago? And she's answering all of my questions. I said, when did this start? She said 3 weeks ago. I said, how many times? She said 1 time. I said, do you feel good about it?
Wait. Toxic and contradictory. Mods, ban anyone calling Erin toxic and contradictory.
No, I'm rattling anything that comes to my brain at that moment. I asked her what date. She couldn't come up with a date. That's not true. I'm
Freak
sure
month.
Come up with a date. So I told her to get out of my car while I was driving, and I'm pretty sure I was driving 60, 70 miles an hour.
Hey, south to west, do you remember offhand how many followers she had on Instagram?
So I pull into the nearest neighborhood to make a U-turn and take her back to my house. So I drop her off. I yelled at her the whole time. I told her to get out of my car. I really don't remember exactly what was said because it was so heat of the moment.
I think you could be right, JC, from the perspective of even though she says they didn't argue, it seems like her definition of arguing is like yelling profanity or raising her voice. And she does have some high level apex social predatory skills. So she might have been doing a little bit of gaslighting or whatever to kind of be contradictory without like declaring open war, you know?
Moment crazy. And I was losing my mind.
59K. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty good.
If I'm being completely honest, as one does when they're blindsided and the rug is ripped out from underneath them. So I drop her off at the house and then I text her immediately because I am enraged. And I said, you have a lot to think about. I will give you until tomorrow. And then I texted immediately and said, that was such a shitty thing to do. She responds to me, you are right and I'm sorry. I said, I don't know if you are. That's what sucks. I said, I deserve better. And then I said, this is our friend and our friend. I said, you saw what that did to our friend. Year 7 too. And then you took her car. Like she's your fucking girlfriend. I knew it was all off. You make me sick. Kay didn't promise me shit, but you did. Pause. Our friends went through this same thing. Year 7, one of the wives cheated on the other wife with a girl from work, left her for the girl from work, and then our friend, the one who we stayed friends with, the one who didn't cheat,
True, Bob,
came to stay with us, laid on our couch, shaking and crying, and I would hold her while she cried. That was her first call. My partner was my friend T's first call when her wife cheated. And I'm like, this is textbook, and we don't talk to the other wife.
I think they have a very, like, I don't know any other way to put this that would make it as, like, directly succinct, but it's almost like they have, like, a very, like, woke vocabulary, you know what I mean? Like, everything's really flowery and everything's really, like, protecting feelings and, you know, softening and whatnot. So I do think it sounds, but also like you're right. Like it could even just be that that to her it's real, but to the girl, to the wife or whatever, she might be using Chat GPT to make the responses back to her
because of what she did to our friend. Anyway, A responds to me, my partner, and says, "I'm not trying to hide things from you, as effing terrible as it is. I should have talked to you sooner." I said, before you effed her or like after.
But all of that, like, flowery, softening, you know, safe space crumbles whenever you're fucking your coworker, I guess.
I said, so are you just going to move on now? Like, I kick you out and you go stay with Kay? Or how does this work? And then I said, my client is there to get meals. Please open the door for him. She said, I didn't know that. I left to get my car. You can give him the gate code. And I got angry. And I said, it's his first time ever picking up meals. And then I said, I'm going with you to Kay's. Because you know what? When she was at her house the night before, I screenshotted her address. Because why wouldn't I? And why are you there? She said, I did not know anyone was picking up. And no.
Oh my God.
And then she responded to me to my message, are you there?
So she screenshotted the address.
She said, I did not know anyone was picking up, and no. And then she responded to me to my message directly that said, are you going to move on now? I kick you out and you go stay with Kay, or how does this work? And she said, I am not staying with her. I said, okay, I'm still going over there. And then she called me. She was like, do not come with me to Kay's. I'm going to get my car. I said, then you are going to get an Uber and you are not going to tell her a thing. Because if you do, I know where your loyalty lies. And her voice is shaking. She's like,
loyalty test.
I understand. I won't do that. She texted me and said she is ordering Uber. I said, thank you. She texted, I just got to my car. I said, I think we will miss each other. I would like to talk after I nanny tonight. I had a nanny job. How are you going to tell me this? Let me just remind you, I had the whole week off of work after I got home from my vacations. Why would you tell me this when I pick work back up, when I'm house sitting, when I'm nannying, when I have meal prep clients, when I'm personal training? Why would you tell me that then? Why couldn't you have some human decency and tell me when I have a week to process?
So she's mad because she has to go into work pissed off.
But, you know, consideration clearly wasn't on her list of things. Even though I consider her in everything that I do. She texts, even though I consider her in everything that I do. She texted me that we can talk after I'm done nannying. She said her ETA home is at 3:30. I said I needed to be at my nanny's kiddos by 3:30. She said, I know, I'm sorry I couldn't make it back that quickly. I said, I want you to think of a plan of action moving forward. What your thoughts are. I want to hear actionable.
Yeah, like that. I want a plan of action, actionable, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that, there's a certain, I don't know. It's all part of like a certain like vocabulary tool set.
Items that we can start implementing this week. That is the conversation I would like to have tonight, just so you know where my head is at. She responds to me.
Like when you make terms like a certain way, it like impersonalizes what you're saying.
Okay, I understand.
In my opinion.
That was it. I nannied until almost 11 o'clock at night. It was not supposed to be that late, so I was thinking like, oh, we'll have plenty of time to have a conversation. Mind you, this is a Sunday night, so we both have work early in the morning on Monday. She has personal training clients. I have personal training clients. But 11 o'clock comes around. I'm done nannying. While I was nannying, made a list of what we are going to do to reconcile and repair our relationship. Because What was that? So I go and call her. I'm like,
there you go,
on
therapy
my way home.
speak. Yeah.
She is asleep. Obviously, it's late at night, and I wake her up out of.
I feel like it makes everything sound like you're getting a form letter from, it's all very impersonal and sterile.
Her sleep, and I am still house sitting. So I pick her up, and we go down to my house sitting client's house.
Hey, Leo Fardhammer.
We talk until 3:30 in the morning about everything I typed in my notes
20%
while I was
higher.
nannying.
I think Erin is fantastic. Here we go. Part 6. Ooh, she does actually reconcile. Ooh, we get a trigger warning on an upcoming video. We are going to reconcile.
Okay, this is part 6 of how my partner cheated on me, blindsided me, and left me for her assistant at work. So at this point, I had picked her up from my house because
Whiteboard
she was
list.
there sleeping. I had been nannying until 11. So I take her down to my house sitting clients in San Diego so that we can have our conversation. And I wanted to be the one to lead this conversation, and I had wrote everything in my notes. That's what I'm referencing now. In my phone that I wanted to speak with her on. So I'm like holding my phone as we're having this conversation to make sure that I hit all of these bullet points. So by the time we get there, obviously,
like even that, like I'm doing XYZ to make sure that I hit all the bullet points. Like I'm not saying that she's being disingenuous, but just that like to my ear, like it feels very impersonal and like cold. But maybe that's just her deal. She doesn't seem to, like she said, her attachment style is kind of detached.
we were both exhausted. I don't think either of us had slept in 2 days. Neither of us had really eaten. And I asked her to start, how are you feeling? And she tells me that she's tired. And I said, I'm angry that it took you over a week to tell me, then 2 full days of talking to come forward with all the information.
Yeah, and I feel like Erin does kind of downplay how much time is spent on the texting, because to her, several lengthy conversations over the course of a day isn't a lot, but I feel like that would be a lot for some people, especially if that person is at work and the person messaging them is like, not in a
I think she
salaried
kind of nodded her
position.
head to say, yeah, like that sucks. But her demeanor was very
HR
closed
meeting,
off.
there you
Like she
go.
has hat on, hood up, like arms crossed, legs crossed as I'm talking to her, which she sometimes does that when she's like really tired. So I didn't think much of it. But I had questions about the act itself, and I said, did you plan this? And she told me no. I said, was it a meetup knowing that this was going to happen? She told me no. I said, did you feel good about it or did you feel awful after? And she told me that she felt terrible. And I said, did you think about how I would feel? And this was like a genuine question.
I have not
did you
ate,
think
I
of
have
me?
not
And
slept.
she said no, which is crazy to me because my picture of me and her together dancing is the background on her phone. So while you're texting this girl to meet up with her, to hang out at any capacity, you had to look at my face before unlocking your phone. I digress. I said,
digress.
did you feel like it was a mistake and do you wish you could take it back? And then I asked who initiated it. She said it was a mistake. She wishes she could go back. And she said they both initiated it at the same time. They both kind of went for it. So, okay.
Oh, no.
I
Oh,
asked her what
God.
her day looked like today. I said, when did this start? I'm thinking February, so 50-ish days was enough time to decide that you
What an
wanted to
answer.
throw away all of our years together. And the reason I said February was because they ran a half marathon together February 14th. So it was like a Valentine's Day half marathon. And she was just going to do a 5K or a 10K and then ended up doing the full half, which great. And then she had told me that it had only been 3 weeks.
You think this is a parasocial relationship she's describing?
And she stood pretty firm on that. So I no longer believe that, but these were the things that were said to me.
I can't imagine there's any chance of getting her ex on camera, given the tone of it just where we're at part 6.
I said, I feel sick seeing photos of you. You can put your resignation into your job on your own, or I can go make a spectacle. I will give you the ability to protect your image into your seeing photos of you.
Can you imagine if somebody said that to you? I will give you the ability to protect your image. Wow. Erin.
You can put your resignation into your job on your own, or I can go make a spectacle. I will give you the ability to protect your image into your job. Photos of you. You can put your resignation into your job on your own, or I can go make a spectacle. I will.
So she's saying, okay, she's taking a heathen approach here. She's saying she wants Officer Pompa fired, his pension removed. She wants her partner jobless, homeless, living on the streets.
Will give you the ability to protect your image. I told her that this makes me not even want
Erin is an absolute queen.
to believe in love. If you would prefer me not in your life at all, then I can give you that opportunity to go embark on something different. I said, when times get tough, that's when your values are supposed to uphold the strongest. And prior to this, if I had to select values that I thought embodied you, I would say honesty, monogamy, communication, and family. And all of that was just thrown away. I said, I am literally your family, and you disrespected me at the highest level. And then I had notes on reconciling versus separating. And I didn't even go into the notes of separating that night, if I'm being honest. I said, I want to know that I tried everything I could do to make this work, but I'm not weak. I'm not just somebody that you can use and throw to the side like yesterday's garbage. I said, who have you confided in and with what % honesty? And she told me
wow, that's another interesting phrasing there. Who have you been speaking with and at what % honesty? Okay, here's another thing to consider. Do you think when Erin is asking this question, do you think she's asking the percentage of honesty because she hopes that her ex hasn't lied and is telling the truth, or do you think she might be worried that her ex is telling the truth? The way that she phrased it just seemed kind of interesting to me.
I said, I'm not just somebody that you can use and throw to the side like yesterday's garbage. I said, who have you confided in and with what percent honesty?
Who have you confided in and with what percent honesty? We have ways of making you talk.
And she told me that she confided in her friend from Texas, the one that she had spoke to earlier. I said, what did she have to say about this? And she said, I'm going to be honest, she hasn't been a fan of our relationship for quite some time. And I said, why? Like, why would she not be a fan of our relationship? Like, what narrative have you spun to her to make her not a fan of our relationship? Because everybody in my circle knows how highly I speak of her at all times. So
Erin, you're my future wife.
I said, I hate that I couldn't be that person that you were confiding in. And then I said, remember, and some other girl's name.
Erin, you're tearing me apart, Erin.
There was a point a couple years ago where she came to me and she was crying and said that she crossed an emotional boundary with somebody, and it was one of her ex's partners, and they had just been talking in text message exchange. They met up in person when she was back home visiting family, and just in their text messages, like some conversation crossed a boundary. And I said, is there anything for me to worry about? She told me no. I said, is there something that we need to talk about as far as this goes?
Are any of you on TikTok?
I said, they will handle what happens in there.
If any of you have TikTok, would you mind seeing how many followers Erin Iveson has? ERINIVESON.
Four walls, and we will take care of what happens within our four walls. But I understand in a sapphic relationship how you confide and deeply emotionally connect with your female friends, and the only thing that separates that from you with your partner is sex. Like, intimacy is sharing deep emotional bonds and connections. So I understand the human nature of flirtatious conversation getting out of hand or confiding in someone when you shouldn't have. So I said, remember that girl's name. Like, just come to me and talk to me. I am a person. I understand how things happen and get out of hand. After that, I talked about the points of reconciling. I said what we are going to do, therapy, and we're doing individual and couples therapy.
Oh, wow, 141K.
Nice. Your resignation into your job on your own. You can end all ties with K. I said it is not K that you are wanting. It is a feeling. We're going to do a daily check-in, a weekly check-in, a monthly check-in, and then I wanted to create vision boards together. I wanted a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan, and then we're going to give it our all for 30 days and check
people criticizing her?
in
Nice.
June and see how we're feeling.
Hopefully she'll keep posting, or maybe this might be a tribute account, I don't know, that just collected the breakup videos.
Another non-negotiable was an intentional 45 minutes together every evening with no phones allowed. I'm frustrated because if there was a lack, this should have been implemented sooner. All of this could have been avoided. If you still love me and I still love you, and you felt there was a deficit in our relationship and not a misalignment of core values, then talk.
Performance improvement plan? I'm on my way to a Netflix documentary. How so?
Talk about intimacy, talk about quality time, talk about the things that you're needing with your partner instead of getting external validation from a coworker who doesn't deal with your dirty laundry, quite literally. So, then I had notes on separating, and I didn't even go into that with her. I said, I'm not going to beg you to stay. And then I asked questions in regards to my future, and I was like, would you be okay with seeing me with someone else? Because that's a reality you're going to have to face. And then I said, I'm not sure that you're seeing that far. And then I asked if she would feel how she would feel if they got what she wanted, because I want the same things. I want marriage, kids, that's up for negotiation, but I want to be married. And so I was like, marriage and raising a family, and I'm
A nose alignment of core values. True. How's it going, gobbledygook?
Not trying to be manipulative, but this is simply what we spoke on before. I want you to consider all of these things as I have, because when we walk away for my own sanity, I have to be done.
I think this Erin is probably the type to demand nose alignment.
And I gave her all my cards. I gave her absolutely everything. I told her that I had talked to my sister. I told her that my sister said, don't even let A think that I'm considering working it out at this point. You're bargaining way too early. But all I see is my life in front of me and the rug being ripped out from underneath me. So I am going to cling onto whatever I possibly can, because as far as I was concerned, I was in love with all of my heart and soul, and I had 100% committed to everything. Just what, three days ago
Rug
at
pulled.
this point. So I was like, I don't want to push you further away. I wish it never got here. I want us to reread our old notes to each other. And then I told her, I realized that Kay has me blocked, and she has me blocked on every account that I have access to. And let me tell you, when I did social media for work, I have access to a lot of accounts.
What? What a cliffhanger. Holy shit. Kay, you might have her blocked on main, but she has access to many people's accounts.
My partner of 7 years blindsiding me, cheating on me, and leaving me for her assistant at work. So at this point,
Look at this
we finish
beautiful imagery here in the background.
our conversation down at my house sitting client's house. It is 3:30 in the morning, and we decide to go back to our house to get some sleep. So I make my way back home, and we get in bed, and everything is like trying to get our nervous systems to just calm down. So we're
Right.
cuddling, we're spooning, we sleep together throughout the night, and it was the worst night of sleep I think I have ever experienced in my entire life. I had a couple of panic attacks throughout the night. She is the one who is holding me. She is rubbing my chest. She's saying, it's okay, you're safe, you're loved. She's kissing me and telling me that I'm gonna be okay. I just start crying randomly while I'm trying to sleep. Like, I'm just trying to get my heart to stop racing. I had looked, don't know how accurate it is, but on my Apple Watch, and my heart rate didn't go below on
It's
my
me
Apple
isn't gonna
Watch,
like that.
and my heart rate didn't go below 140 beats per minute for 3 days, even when I was trying to sleep. So when I say,
Wait a second.
I
Is
thought
this
I was
what that one girl meant? Remember that was being thrown out by her boyfriend when she said taking her Apple Watch would like be a death sentence?
dying at a couple of points. Like, I legitimately thought that I was dying. I end up falling asleep for just a couple hours. I have to get up really early. She has to get up really early, but we still make the intentional commitment to get up, walk
Yeah, like
the
there you
dog
go.
together.
Again, there you
I made
go.
us
Intentional commitment. That just makes it feel, that makes it like kind of feel like it's just a nice way of saying we're forcing ourselves to do this. An intentional commitment.
breakfast. We had breakfast together, and we hold hands as we're walking, and everything is great and dandy. And I walk her to her car, and we go off for the day. So once we go off for the day, I try to keep conversation light, but I have all of the text messages from the day. I really, really do love you. I hope you have a great day. I know you're probably going to be hectic because tomorrow is closeout. I would love to hear about how your conversation about San Clemente goes.
San
So
Clemente.
she is potentially being transferred already to a different location from in which she works at. Within her company, they were kind of doing a restructure of this other location, and she had been offered this position, but she didn't know if she wanted to take it. She had been saying that she was so comfortable at the location in which she was at, but now I believe that there was other reasons why she did not want to take it, but she was still going to have this conversation. This was before anything anyway. This was already going to be a conversation, and this is how I was going to save her.
She's so relaxing
having
to
to
listen
put her
to.
resignation in when I gave that ultimatum.
I keep getting put
and
into a
kept me
trance.
from essentially reporting the issue to HR. I said, I don't mind texting. I would really like to feel some sense of normal, but while we are both working, let's keep the conversation light. I'm looking forward to a normal night and a normal night and a full night of sleep with you tonight. She responds, I love you quite a lot. I hope you are able to find moments of breath.
I love you quite a lot. Even that, is that weird? That doesn't sound like natural to me. I love you. Listen, I love you quite a lot. Sounds like something Hugh Grant would say.
Today, and thank you for the touch-in regarding work. We can definitely keep the conversation light today. Most certainly looking forward to getting sleep tonight. I texted talking about my clients. She's talking about how sweet my clients are. I'm talking about my little nanny girl. She's saying this is hilarious to me. I'm asking her how her day has been.
Hey,
she
it's me.
said she has a few business plans back to back here in a minute. And then I asked if she got a lunch break. She said that she's going to be talking to her 2 VPs at once.
Okay, but would you hire her to take care of your meal prep, Bob Brown?
And then she'll have a break. And I said, I'm excited to hear how that conversation goes.
Remember when I asked Vinny Slugga if he was for or against hand digging graves for some reason?
So she asked me how I was doing, and I said, we're supposed to keep our conversation light while we're working, so I'd like to stick to that for now. My client asked me where my sparkle was today, and that was really hard. I really am a bubbly person usually. I'm a really funny person.
True.
So all of this is new to me. Crying is new to me. The anger is new to me. All of it's new. And then she said, okay, fair. And I told her that my client got me really cool envelopes from a different country that she went to. And
really cool envelopes?
And I said, it's a hard day, but it just makes you appreciate the easy ones a little bit more. And she responded with, my client is definitely a rock for me.
You think this person would have difficulty functioning in normal society? I mean, she's got to be, what, in her mid-20s at least, if not late 20s? Like, she's found herself in a deep... You think it's just because she's hot that lady put her up in this mansion, or what?
With a red heart. And I said, she's the best. So is the mom that I nanny for. I said, I walked in the house and she said,
well, she's reading the text messages between her and the wife. Supposedly, that's what she's reading.
Potatoes have 5 minutes. You don't have to eat them, but I thought if they were cooked, you might have a couple. My people really do rally around me. And she said, that makes me happy. And I checked in again about the conversation with the VPs. And she said, I verbally accepted the other position. And I said, I think that's a good move. How are you feeling about it? And she said, it makes sense. I asked her if she has an official start date. She tells me when it is. And I said, you could make that start.
You think while her girlfriend is messing around with, what was her name? with the assistant at work, she's using Chat GPT to talk to her? That'd be pretty cold.
Date sooner, or you could be asked to go over there sooner. And she said that they could want her to go over there sooner. I said,
I'm not vouching for the validity of it. I'm just saying, like, within her storytelling, she is saying that she's reading these text messages off of, like, from whatever source. But I'm saying that's what she's saying.
We could talk more about it tonight, but I would feel comfortable if you asked to go over there as soon as possible. However, you have to spin it, i.e. build rapport with the existing community / clients, whatever. And she said, okay. So the text messages are pretty dry, but also we're supposed to keep the conversation light. I said, I see you and I understand that
the conversation was dry.
This is hard for you too. I appreciate you doing your part in upholding our commitment. And she said, thank you for seeing me. Upholding your commitment was the night prior, us talking through everything, saying that we were going to go to therapy, saying that we were going to do a vision plan, saying that we were going to commit to each other and give it our
all. Oh no, you think it was Kay sending Chat GPT messages to her? Oh shit.
All for 30 days and then see if at the end of 30 days we wanted to reconcile or we wanted to split. So I asked if there was anything I could do to set us up for tonight. I said, I am training right now and then I'm off for the evening. She said, not that I can think of, but I appreciate you asking. So I go, I pick up dinner and make sure that we have food at home. When she gets home, I can't eat still. And so I give her food. I went to Trader Joe's. I'm so stupid. Like, you cheated on me and I'm going to get you flowers and chocolate. Like, wow. But it's just something that I do. It is a regular thing for me. So it wasn't that it was like a gesture of you did something to me and I'm rewarding you for it. It was literally, that's what I do. When I go to Trader Joe's, I just get the things that she likes. And anyway, She comes home.
Listen, gobbledygook. This woman, Erin Iverson, she loves her wife so much that just it's muscle memory that whenever she does anything, she's thinking, what can I do for her? I mean, she's heartbroken here.
She has dinner. She doesn't eat the food. We end up going upstairs. And then we talked. And I was like, can our 45 minutes of intentional time together tonight just be us?
45 minutes of intentional time. So that was whenever you couldn't be on your phone or watch TV or something like that. Definitely you couldn't be on your phone. Intentional, like private time.
Talking. And I had saged the house. I had pulled out
Saged the house. Interesting.
all of our old love letters, and I sat on the bed with her and I was like, I want you to remember that we had sparks too. So like, I completely understand you are ending something with someone else and you are trying to get back to where you are or where you were with your partner. I understand the difficulty of that even after you have an affair. Like I get it. And I was like, I just want to remind you, we were special. Like we were really special. And I was telling her there was a time where we were unproductive members of society because, you know, lesbian Lex, however TikTok wants to take that.
So they were.
It takes. There was a time where we were unproductive members of society because.
So they were unproductive members of society because they were having so much lesbian sex? You think you could pull this off?
Because, you know, lesbian Lex, however TikTok.
What's up, Armani? This is Erin Iverson. She's telling us her breakup story, but some people in chat have a few theories that she's not what she seems. If she is an actress and it is just like a performance art piece or whatever, she's a fun to watch performer.
Wants to take that. It takes a while, and so we would do them 3-4 times a day, and we were not getting any work done. And that was like 2 whole years. So if it's the excitement that you're chasing
For the nose
I
alignment,
understand
Jeremy?
that, but like we can get back there was my point. And we end up not reading the love letters. I was like, I am so tired. Can we just lay in bed and talk? So we do, and it was great.
She's like, I just envisioned this. We were going to drag out the love letters, and I was going to remind her, like, we used to be special. We used to have sparks. But then I was, like, really tired. So I was like, you know what? Let's just cuddle.
It was very calming. It was.
Her YouTube channel, it's called Erin Iverson. Erin, like the doll. And then Iverson, Iveson.
I don't know. It felt
She's delusional.
Good to be normal for a little bit, even if normal was completely.
Wait, you think that you and I should have intentional time, gobbledygook? LCW keeps asking me for intentional time.
We flipped upside down, and that night was great. We held each other to fall asleep, but then my panic attacks started again. And I was just having panic attack after panic attack after panic attack. And she would be the one to hold me and she'd rub my chest and tell me I'm so loved, I'm safe. She would offer me a washcloth. Like, I felt like I had Stockholm syndrome. Like, I felt like my person who I have confided everything in for my entire last 7 years just hurt me so bad. And there is a dagger in my back. And I'm just like, please take care of me. And that is what she did. She took care of me while I cried and while I panicked and while I'm rocking on the floor, and it was dehumanizing, to say the least.
Wow. What is Stephanie SOW? This was part 7, right? Yeah, we need part 8. I don't want to be here. Trigger warning, mental health. So, I mean, what do you think that means based on what we've seen so far? That this one specifically, she would trigger warn for mental health.
Part 8 of my series where my partner cheated on me, blindsided me, and left me for.
Oh, look at the backdrop, the sunroof, the trees, the blue skies.
So at
this point, I need to give a trigger warning for
Distracted during intentional time. She probably means like that her wife wouldn't do what or wasn't as attentive to whatever specific thing she was needing to fulfill her love language at the time.
mental health. I am going to change some of the words that I use to make sure that the verbiage fits within TikTok community guidelines. Just a quick recap on dates and as things happened. So April 24th is the day we start having the conversation of marriage and kids.
Distracted by a
talked
ball.
about for 2 days. April 26th is the day that I found out she actually cheated on me. April 27th is day one of reconciliation.
Now we've day one of reconciliation day.
And then Tuesday, April 27th is
April 27th, day one of reconciliation.
One of reconciliation. And then Tuesday, April 28th is where we are at now. So we had spent the night in bed together. I continued to have panic attacks. I continued to have full body convulsions. And I was waking her up out of her sleep. So neither of us have slept since April 24th at this point.
What? 4 days?
This day, we wake up and we're still following the same protocol of spend quality time together, because that was the big point of pain in our previous conversations, is us making time for one another. So
it's Erin Iverson. South to West found it, I think, probably just off of that.
We wake up early, have breakfast, walk the dog.
Or Erin Iverson Fitness. Oh, she's gay? Yeah, she's a lesbian. Well, I assume so.
Conversation, talk about potentially seeing each other for lunch, and then she is at work at this point. She texts me.
What's up, Get Crack? Who dis? Are you trying to distract us from Beth's rage? No. What Beth rage? This is Erin Iverson. I guess she's an Instagram fitness person and like TikToker, and this story of hers finally made it over here. It's like a breakup story.
And says, "Thank you for going with me to walk Joe and making me breakfast. That was very kind. Judging by my schedule, I am not going to take a..."
Thank you for making breakfast. That was very kind. Like, that sounds like the dialogue from The Room. You threw a birthday party for me and invite all my friends. Good thinking. Like a
designated lunch break today. My appointments will take me to at least 1:32, and I need to prioritize moving my body. I say that's fair. We talk all throughout the day just about how our day is going, and as previously discussed, we keep conversation light so that neither of us feel too heavy while we're at work. I send her a text message in the evening before she gets home from work, and I say I picked up food for dinner. She says bless. So that evening,
bless.
I think neither of us have an appetite still. So we go straight upstairs, and as I had wanted to the evening prior, I had all of our old love letters drawn out and on the bed, like stacks of love letters. We are the type of people to write love letters for every occasion. I write love letters and put them on her steering wheel. I write love letters and stick them on the mirror. She writes love letters and puts them on my cup. Like, we have so much history that has been written down.
What do you mean? She's leaving little love notes everywhere for her. She seems like a caring partner.
Maybe if we could read some of
Future
that history
wife.
to each other, her read her letters to me and me read my letters to her, that it could reignite sparks or just remind her of the kind of love that we've had. So in addition to just the love letters, I have my journals, my burn book. I have this book that I write like manifestations and old things to myself in, and I have it all out on the bed. And I wanted to read through one entry to her that I had wrote when I was from when I was 19, about how awful I was to one of my ex-partners and how I regretted ever trying to love someone before properly loving myself. I wrote about how selfish I was and how it was awful to do that to another human being and take something that's so magic, like the pure idea that we are both existing in this lifetime and at this same time, like, we are miracles to even exist, and for me to treat somebody so horribly, I expressed in this journal entry how sad it is to have someone else be collateral damage when you are trying to navigate the world. And the journal prompt was just, what is one thing that you regret most in this life? And my idea in reading that entry to her is show her what she's doing to me. Like, we have had pure love and admiration for one another for 7 years, and you decide to betray me at the ultimate level. And
I'm going to give you a gift, but what the gift is supposed to do is remind you how great I am.
That's my biggest regret in this world, is ever hurting somebody else, because I don't take other people's feelings lightly, and I just felt like my feelings were being taken lightly. And we read a few letters back and forth, and she expressed how nice it's been to just spend quality time together, and how this is all she's been wanting, and there's so much physical affection, because that was another point that she had made, and we are being mindful and giving that to one another.
Oh my God.
She says she's been wanting this for a really long time, but she feels like she has just built up this emotional wall against me. And then I was kind of like, do you think that's because you slept with someone else? Like, I don't know how you expect to feel any different when you give your
Wait a second, Armani, are you telling me you would not simp for Erin Iverson?
Soul to some other person that is not in our relationship. And I think at this point we're just both exhausted, and we are ready to go to bed. We try to go to sleep, and my panic...
Oh, also, Armani, when I was rewatching Beth's stream, I saw that you were getting beat up a little bit in the chat, and you were asking me to ban people. I wasn't in there. Once she started getting drunk and acting out of pocket, I quit watching.
Attacks start all over again. I just felt, even though we had spent 45 minutes reading and talking and being affectionate, it just felt heavy. Everything felt heavy, and no matter what I did to try to calm down, I couldn't get my nervous system to stop. Like, my body was just like shaking, and my whole body was sore, and I haven't slept in days, and I haven't been able to eat, and I couldn't even drink water. And so the panic attacks just started again and again and again.
Oh, you would still simp? You're just pointing out facts. Very fair, Armani.
And I'm pretty sure I had 3 consecutive panic attacks, and the whole time...
No, wait a minute. Are you is this the fake Armani or the real? Can somebody check? Is that the fake Armani?
Getting on the floor holding me, and I went downstairs to get water, and I just like couldn't stand anymore. And I remember I crouched down.
Hype Dirty Dalish.
I couldn't
That
figure
sounds
out
about right.
how to even exist. And there has been points in my life where I've really struggled with my mental health. When I was a kiddo,
What I know, I'm kind of scared of her, to be honest. I feel like she's fun, but it would feel like I was always on that game show Survivor, where like I kind of would be in an alliance with her, but at the same time, like I would always be ready for the, to get voted out at a moment's notice.
Like in high school, I didn't want to be here anymore, and I had made some choices and had to go to a place to stay for a little bit. And so when I made it back upstairs, I had just told her, like, I need to leave. Like, I need to go because I really need some help right now. And I know the signs of me needing help. And so my logical brain fully recognizes that it's not that I don't actually want to be here. It's that I want to escape whatever feeling.
Oh, that's why she put the trigger warning on there. She's thinking about roping.
That I'm having in that moment. But I thought that I was cured or healed or whatever, because I haven't felt anything like that in a very, very long time.
So basically, she had been in a good according to her take here, she was fine in that regard for a long time, but the stresses from what her partner did brought on like suicidal ideations.
So this was one of those times where I just knew I needed to seek maybe some professional guidance. So she's comforting me throughout this. She's holding me. She's telling me that I'll be okay. She's telling me to just breathe. She's telling me to stay here for the night and we'll get through this and we can talk about going somewhere in the morning. And I was like, I gotta go. Like, I don't want to be here. And I just kept repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. And I end up staying at home all night. She does take care of me very well throughout the night. And when I woke up in the morning, she had taken quite a bit of the morning off. We had talked just a little bit, and I told her, I still think I need to go somewhere.
Okay. Ooh, Brittany Venti. All right. Oh, wow. Here we go. Couples therapy. Ooh, look at that part. Part 10 is called It Feels More Normal When You're Gone. Yikes. Laying in bed having panic attacks means you're not healed?
Partner
Yeah.
of 7 years, cheating on me, blindsiding me, and left me for her assistant. So I wake up on the morning of Wednesday, the 29th, and I am still adamant that I need to go somewhere. So, my partner has taken the morning off of work, and I end by saying, before I walk out the door, that I am going to take care of a couple of clients and I am going to figure out a plan for myself of where to go because I fully recognize that I need help. At this point, she hugs me, she kisses me, she tells me that she just needs me to be okay. And my
What's up, Kevin Murray? Are you Team Erin or Team K?
interpretation was, when we were having this conversation, it felt very selfish, like I need you to be okay for me, instead of I'm genuinely concerned about you. But again, that is my interpretation of how that conversation went that morning. I also had extremely heightened emotions, and I may have been reading things incorrectly, but it just felt as though I need you to be okay so that I can feel absolved of my part in how you're feeling. She texted me as I had left, and she said, you don't have to, but I would really appreciate if you kept me in the loop today. I would like to know where you are. To which
I don't think that's necessarily true. I feel like, I feel like Erin is a neat person, but I think she comes with some unique challenges as far as like relationship and social, even psychological dimensions of a relationship. And I feel like if you're open to dating her and especially being in a long-term relationship with her, then probably like you're not going to be the kind of person to cut somebody off for acting out of pocket,
I responded.
I mean,
and
like
I said, I have a day plan today.
one
I
or
skipped
two
training
times
with my clients, and I talked about my clients a little bit. One of them took me to a cafe. I told her
I feel like you'd have to kind of be open-minded and have a forgiving heart.
At 12:30, I have a Reiki appointment downtown with a natural healer because I have to get this panic and anxiety under control. And I said that will be until 3:30. I had let her know when I left that I may potentially get a 5150 and I may not have my phone. I don't know how that was going to go. And we were supposed to have a therapy appointment with our couples therapist.
Yeah, she's in the passenger.
Thursday. So the following day, it is now Wednesday. And I said,
Armani wants to know if Erin would get through better with a man, maybe a 6'3" young bull. Armani, that might take care of her.
Don't know if I will be able to make it on that call. As soon as I get to the location, I will let you.
I feel like she kind of looks like a brunette mean girl version of Coco Star.
If I have my phone. I didn't know if I was going to be held or if I was going to get my privileges taken away of having my phone. Back to my message.
Privileges taken away of having a phone? Huh?
So I said, I am going home to pack now. I am meeting my friend at 4:30, my friend in which I was going to have take me to the place. I said, I am waiting to stay with
And then I said the name of a recovery center. It is a holistic treatment for mental health in San Diego. They typically work with insurance, so I'm working with their finance department to figure out self-pay options. She responds to me and says, I appreciate you letting me know your plan and keeping me involved. I'm not sure if there's anything I can assist with, but please let me know if so. I know my words may not carry weight, but I just want you to
Remember when she told her ex that she needed to resign from her job or else she was going to make a spectacle?
be okay. So we have no more communication throughout the entirety of that day until...
Do you think, though, Bob, are you saying that you think it's fiction, like, within her own mind, or do you think she's presenting it knowing, do you think she thinks it's real, I guess? What's up, Killer Tony?
I texted her at 4:15, letting her know I would have my phone, and I said I will be able to take the call on Thursday at 1:30 p.m. She said okay, with a red heart. So Thursday comes around the following day, and I said our call will be starting soon, just sending a reminder that I will be calling to patch us all through. She said yes, I will be ready. And then we get on the phone with the therapist. My partner says that she feels as though she has been going with the flow for years. She says that we've never had elevated conversations, which I absolutely agree with, because we've
Elevated conversations.
never fought. And she said that the reason why she didn't speak up was because she never wanted to murky the water. And the therapist talked us through a couple of options that we have. There's discernment therapy and couples therapy. And she was just going into the difference of the two.
What's up, Captain Obvious? The red heart meant no. American female psycho. That's a good archetype.
If you do discernment therapy, there's like path 1, path 2, path 3. With path 1, you just accept the status quo. You don't want to work things out, but you don't want to split. And path 2 is where you do like a trial separation. Path 3 is an all-out effort to save the relationship. And 6 months is the full ride on what that is. With couples therapy, it's two people who are 100% committed to, we are going to make this work. We're going to talk things through, and we both want an all-out effort to make this happen. So when I'm asked, I of course want to do the couples therapy, and my partner would like to do the other option, and I feel shattered. I am heartbroken. I asked if this were something that she even feels like is worth it, because if you're not all out wanting to save the relationship, I don't really understand why we're doing this, because we had made that original commitment for...
Well, what do you mean she doesn't know why? She's taking path 1, right? Where, like, she doesn't want to fix anything, but she didn't want to split. Oh, thank you, JC. For $4.99 says, good new installment of Love is Like War. I don't buy that they never fought and the cheating didn't come out of nowhere. Yeah, I agree. Or they had such a conflict avoidant type relationship that they might not have fought, but not fighting doesn't mean that there weren't problems rotting the relationship from the inside out. Thank you, JC. I appreciate that, man.
30 days to give this our absolute all. With the discernment therapy, it doesn't require that all-out effort, and they also don't ask that third parties are...
Maybe she's a stand-up comedian that just is, it's all a bit...
cut out entirely from the equation of the relationship, and they acknowledge that that is another part of the relationship that has been added. And my heart sinks, because in my personal discussions with we have decided that she was not talking to
with but she said the cheater, the girl that she cheated with, Kay, said all of her business, where she worked, everything, but then the partner's just like, just this
other girl at all.
Wait,
and
for Armani?
Still at this point, my impression that she was not speaking with her at all. But regardless, I want us to have communication, and I am happy to move forward with doing this sort of therapy.
Well, we know she's a real person. Erin Iverson exists. She does fitness content, it sounds like, predominantly. South to West said that there were people who were like kind of fighting. She was combative toward in the comments section.
because I think it would be a healthy, safe
Which
space
that
for
type of behavior seems in line with what we're experiencing in the videos.
us to both communicate. And after the call ended with the therapist, I had just sent a message saying, thank you for getting on that call with me. Do you want to talk about how you feel with the process moving forward? And she responds, you're welcome. No, other than I think it's a good idea and I am willing to be vulnerable with everything. I said, I really appreciate that. And I know how hard it is for us both to be vulnerable. So at this point, Wednesday I left, Thursday I'm gone, Friday I am gone, all of the day until the afternoon. I went home without notifying A, and I walked in the house because my body figured something's gotta give, and I had bled through all of my clothes that I had packed when I left my house.
Oh my, Armani, she bled through all the clothes she had packed.
So I walk upstairs and she is coming out of the shower and both of us locked eyes at the same
What did she say? She felt like she was enslaved to the chores.
time, and she was surprised to see me and I kind of felt shocked seeing her, and I told her what had happened and how I was gonna go get clothes, and she was like, yeah, okay, go get clothes. And she was a very kind and sweet and supportive of me getting clothes, but it was like she had seen a ghost when she saw me. And so I packed new clothes and I asked if we could talk before I left.
Holy cow. Man, what a great story. Classism isn't a bad thing. Who's Don Art? Hold on, I gotta see who Don Art is.
There is a strong likelihood that I am less financially stable or well off than nearly anybody who might come across this video even by accident. Yet in spite of
I'm in for it. I'm here for it. Okay, part 10. It feels more normal when you're gone.
Part 10 of my series where my partner blindsided me, cheated on me, and left me for her assistant. So at this point, I went home. I had been gone for 2 days instead of the 3 days that I had originally said that I was going to be gone for. I had informed my partner A that I would be
Like what do they call it? Death by 1,000 cuts.
Staying.
Just happens so gradually, maybe, and she seems way more in tune with her own feelings than with being perceptive of others. So maybe things were just happening, but it happened so gradually that like she wasn't able to pick up on it.
With my little nanny girls' moms for the night, so I wasn't intending on.
Her partner, her wife, left her for Kay, who is her wife's assistant.
Staying at the house. I wanted to still very much respect and give her her space because I said that I would be gone for 3 days, and I wanted to have a conversation before I left the house, and that was something that she was open to. So as we have all of these conversations, I make notes prior to going into any of the talks so that I have my points in which I want to cover, and then I let her speak and give her points. And then at the end of all of the conversations, I write in my notes everything that was spoken on so that I have it for my record so that
For your records? She's writing down... Okay, this is methadone level behavior. She's making transcripts of arguments with her partner for her records.
Even if we were to not work out, I want to be able to review these things, and
I want to be able to review these documents in case we don't work out.
I'm one of those people who likes to grow as a human being and learn. And also, again, when emotions are heightened, you have a tendency to forget details. So I have documented everything. So we begin the conversation. Woo! And I opened it up and I jumped right back into the conversation of kids because while I've been gone, that's the only thing that I had really on my mind.
Oh my God, absolutely, Killer Tony. Can you imagine you get into something happens and the other person's got fucking years of handwritten transcripts of your arguments? Oh, really? Is that what you thought you said?
And I said, that's not something that we can do with the way things are right now. I work and she works crazy hours, is gone 12 hours a day. And I said, if she wanted that to be a legitimate thing, that she would need to have a remote job or quit what she does entirely, because that's not sustainable.
What?
Also brought back up that I am not a very traditional person. If we were to have children, I want to raise them in a van, like on the road. I don't want to put them in public school, and I don't want to have the house with the white picket fence with the car that everyone drives, living the same day over and over and over and over again.
Remember when she was like, "Who promised you the world?"
And right now, I never live the same day over again. I have lots of odds and ends jobs, and I do different things, and my days always look completely different. And that's just something that I value, and that's always been a value. And this conversation was able to give me lots of clarity, because I wanted to see if our values still even aligned, if we were.
Are they value matching? That's the issue.
To both want children as well. Like, if that were an avenue that we were going to take, would our wants and the way our lives look, would those even align together?
I'll be right back.
I want to raise kids with somebody who I feel like I'm in a partnership with. I do not feel supported in my work that I do right now. So why on earth would I want to have more work with children involved? She goes into speaking on how she didn't see that as a viable option for us, and she didn't even think that was something that we would do. So she fully dove into work to kind of escape. She didn't see that being in our future, so she did more work than what she needed to and picked up training on the weekends, and I'm busy on the weekends, so she just dove into work, which I completely understand that perspective as well. And then I just brought up, if we had kids, I don't want to live in the United States.
I'm going to give Poppy a can
but
of food real quick.
That conversation seems so far-fetched. I don't even know why we're talking about that right now, if we don't even know if we're going to stay together. I also told her I need more touch points throughout the day. I know that she's wanting space right now, but I don't like going all day without talking to her. And then I shared my location so that if she wants to see where I am, she can see what I'm doing. So if she needs space from me, she can avoid being at home if I am at home, or if she wants to see where I'm at, she can see where I'm at. And I said, at this current juncture, with the way that we live right now, like, these are hard boundaries. Just her giving me touch points throughout the day of what she's doing while we are kind of navigating our relationship. And again, at this point, we are giving it our all to save the relationship. She again brought up me throwing a Hail Mary to save the relationship. And that's when I said, you didn't really give me the
Yes, JC, I think that's absolutely legitimate. That could definitely build resentment, especially because she doesn't really seem grateful for her position, and is like resentful toward the, her wife for working. So I bet her wife does kind of get fed up working 12 hours and then having to hear about how hard chores are.
Choice. You had conversations behind my back and you didn't ever involve me in them. She was very upset.
Does she ever stop talking? I don't think so, no.
With the number of people in which I have involved in our business. She was upset that we have mutual friends that I reached out to first. But even if we work things out 100%, that wasn't going to be a conversation that I kept from my friends. And I'm sorry, but when you're with someone for 7 years, you don't have separate friends. You may have your friends that you confide in, and I have my friends that I confide in, but we've been together for 7 years. Your friends are my friends are your friends. But in confiding with our mutual friends, our friends had...
Who are you confiding in, and what percentage of honesty?
Been confirmed to me that she had expressed these feelings to them. So our mutual friends are saying, yes, she wants you guys to be married and to have kids, and she doesn't see that happening, but they figured everything was okay because we were still together. And these conversations were happening as far as a year ago. And this was multiple friends, college friends, friends that don't live in state.
Man, she got outwomaned because women are infamous for setting up a soft landing so they have a new nest to land in. And her ex already had Kay's nest lined up.
All of which had kind of the same story. And I told her how incredibly hurtful that was, because you're having these conversations and leaving me out. I am your partner. I can't read minds, and I don't know anything's wrong if you don't tell me. So at this point, she confirms for me it has been about the last year that she had been feeling that way, and I lost it because, and that was the only time that
a year, no fights. So this lady just quiet quit this relationship, basically.
Cried during the conversation because
imagine having issues with a partner that you've been with for 7 years, for over a year, but your relationship isn't in a position to where you can even, for whatever reason, you can't even address the problems that you're having.
I played through the last year in my head of like all of the things that we had done, and I felt used and manipulated and lied to, because how are you going to look at me in the eyes every single day and tell me how much you love me and tell me that I'm the best part of your day and tell me that the thing that you looked forward to all day was coming home to me, but you're emotionally checking out?
I agree. I mean, that's pretty cold.
I played through what we had done, and we've backpacked.
It's one thing to feel that way and be like, I'm checking out of the relationship, but then to continue not just the facade of like a functioning relationship, but that like you're, doing that stuff, like gassing her up.
Took a trip up to Alberta, Canada, and we had hiked through 4 national parks and did the RV thing, and she was my sister's wedding, and she met my mother, who I've been estranged from for 12 years. Like, why would you meet my mother? And I played through everything, and my brain just couldn't understand how you would continue to build a life and lie to someone. Lying by omission is still lying, and building a false truth and a future. She had sent me houses the week that she had cheated on me, sent me houses that were in our price range because her friends.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? She's showing her shit like buying a house? That's a really cold move.
We wanted to build an ADU on our property for her friend and her boyfriend. That is textbook future baiting. Giving you promises.
Ooh, I like that. Future baiting.
Future that she never intended on actually delivering to me. But in this conversation, she was able to give me some really good perspective that I hadn't heard from her.
Interesting, because earlier today on another channel, the host told a story about a woman who prepared to leave her husband 6 years. Wow, that's brutal.
Her before, she said that she compares our relationship to her last relationship. It was great in comparison to that. I'm going to leave out what happened in her last relationship because it's not my business to tell.
Oh boy.
And she looks around the house and she looks at the life we live, and she says that I'm a provider, and she has always seen that I contribute so much to our household, and it makes her feel like she's happy, and she should be happy, and she should be grateful for what she has, and she feels like she is grateful for what she has, but she wants more. And I said, I think you feel like there's an emotional wall built up against me because you've already opened that avenue with somebody else, and you're physically capable of doing that with somebody else. So the fear of losing your person isn't scary to you. And she keeps trying to own her part in things, but as soon as she owns up to something, she shifts it back onto me. And all of these conversations that we could have had, all of these conversations could have been had before we had any issue and before it got to this point. And I said, I don't know if this stems back to something traumatic from your childhood, but everyone always leaves you, and I'm not going to leave you. I'm telling you, I want this.
Everyone leaves you?
100%. And I'm this stems back to
Isn't that kind of a red flag whenever someone tells you like, hey, nobody else wants you, nobody else is gonna whatever, but I'm gonna, I'll take care of you.
something traumatic from your childhood, but everyone always leaves you, and I'm not gonna leave you. I'm telling you, I want this 100%. What is going on right now is not a reason for us to just move forward with our lives. And she hugged me, and it was a long hug, and it was a hard boundary that we won't be sleeping in the same bed anymore because it confuses her. And the saddest part of that conversation is that she said that she's used to feeling like she's alone a lot.
Oh no.
Even when I'm there, which feels shitty. And she said it feels more normal when I'm not home than when I'm home.
Oh, man. Oh my God. That is brutal shit. That it feels more normal, like, whenever she's just living by herself than whenever her partner of 7 years is around. Part 11. The conversation of 4 hours.
Part 11 of my series where my partner blindsided me, cheated on me with, and left me for her assistant. So we finished having the conversation. I tell her that I'm staying over at my nanny girl's mom's house for the evening because I had originally told her I was going to be gone for 3 days. And I still wanted her to have that space at home and be able to just get some space and decompress and collect some of her thoughts. So we had that conversation. The conversation was good, but it was very somber and sad. And I just felt like we were still
the conversation was a real downer
together, but it felt like she was checked out while I was the one who was throwing out life rafts, like, let me save this relationship. And I felt like I was putting in far more effort than what she was. Her demeanor was kind of closed off throughout, but that was anticipated because she was kind of the one who was 1 foot out and I was the one who was blindsided. So I go to stay with my friend.
What's a hot tour personality?
They have both been through something shockingly similar with exes in their past, which is insane to me that so many people share the same experience. But I was explaining everything that happened and what I was feeling, and they were telling me what they did in their experience. And it was really nice to be able to have someone that close to me that understands exactly what I am going through. So that night I journaled down all of the points that I want to talk to with about when we have another conversation, when I finally go.
So she's journaling in preparation of the next conversation.
Home for good the following day. And while I am there, I am still thinking about her more than myself. My feelings go to the back seat while I'm talking to...
Well, certainly for the last year, Armani, it sounds like she was completely checked out. She's pretty honest about it. And if she's willing to tell her that it had been a year, who knows how long it might have been.
She's telling me we're not going to sleep in the same bed anymore. So I ordered her a new bed for my office. I ordered a new bed frame, and I was planning on moving all of the furniture from the office into the loft and creating the office into her own personal bedroom oasis so that she can have her own space in the house and really have time to heal. Because again, we had that boundary of we probably shouldn't sleep in the same bed anymore because it's just confusing for her. I placed the order. The bed's going to be there on Tuesday. The following day, I wake up. It is now Sunday. I have meal prep. She has personal training clients in the morning. So we go about our normal mornings. I go home, finally.
What's up, Randy? I know, that's so brutal. It's like, it just cuts to like the essence of, it's not like you're ugly or you're whatever, you know? It's just like you as an entity, like it's better if you're not around. That's so cold.
And she's there and she's upstairs sleeping. So I figured as soon as I'm done with meal prep, I'll initiate this conversation because it just feels like we are dragging things out, and there is a dagger in my back, and I need her to pull it. I need her to let me go if she's going to let me go. Of all the conversations, this was definitely the longest one. I go upstairs and initiate the conversation, and this is the most lesbian breakup you could ever imagine. We talk through everything we've already spoke on, but so much more also. There's a few points that I didn't previously talk about because I didn't think it was mine to talk about. When we talk about kids, there's a huge factor involved. She has a brother who is nonverbal, autistic, who, when I first started dating her...
Boy, man, if we were in Vegas, this is a gamble that it just never stops paying off.
I knew that she would one day have custody of him. And that day could be any time, and I won't get into the reasons as
she doesn't want to have kids because she's going to end up being the caretaker for the autistic brother.
Why that could be any time, but that is something that I fully recognized as my own responsibility. So when we are considering children in this conversation, I fully know we will have a grown child who is unable to communicate, along with our hypothetical adopted children, foster children, biological children, whatever. And I didn't know how that would fit into our lives. So I bring that up in the conversation.
Oh boy.
I bring up intimacy. I bring up
She's bringing up the autistic brother.
Expectations around intimacy. I bring up what she wants. I bring up points of pain. I bring up the fact that I always initiate. She's the one who says that she doesn't know if I'm still attracted to her, which is bullshit. But she said, I don't even feel like you're attracted to me anymore. And I said, if you go through my camera roll, you know how attracted I am to you.
God bless her.
You're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute. I take her photo. But we go through the entire thing. I was like, are you even attracted to me anymore? And she's like, look at you. Of course I'm attracted to you. And I was like, I don't get how you're attracted to me and attracted to her. I'm not going to go there and talk down.
Oh boy, we know how. Okay. She says she's not going to talk down on Kay, but honestly, like, clearly that we know how she feels about it, because she's saying it's insulting to think that the same person who finds her attractive would find Kay attractive.
On another woman's looks. I'm just going to tell you, we're very different. So in this, she continues to reiterate, this has nothing to do with the other girl. She says, I am not speaking with her. I am not staying with her. I am not leaving you for her. That is what she keeps telling me over and over and over and over again. And she says she is not a factor. She said the reason she couldn't come to me and communicate with me and tell me that she wasn't happy is because she looked at me and saw me as being so happy and so in love. So she made the conscientious choice to be happy every day. But now she feels like she needs to choose.
She decided to have intentional happiness.
Choose herself and figure herself out and figure out what actually makes her happy. I just keep asking why you can't make yourself happy or figure out what makes you happy while you are with me. I don't understand why we have to break up for her to figure.
I don't think it takes a rocket scientist here. She's not going to want to admit it or going to want to look at it, but clearly one of the things she needed to change in her life to be happy was not being in the relationship.
Figure out what makes her happy. So I go back into Kay and I'm like, you said you have feelings for her. And she said, yes, that is something that happened, but I am not doing anything about those feelings. So I keep questioning why. And I told her I travel all summer long. I said, you can have your space in the office. I'm going to convert it into your bedroom. I ordered a mattress for you that should be here in an hour or so. There's a bed frame that should be here by Tuesday. I am telling her, you can figure your stuff out until October and we can take this space. because I travel all summer. So I was like, I'll be out of the house quite a bit anyway. And I was like,
What's
I
up,
don't
Greg?
know what more to give you. I can't give you any more of me because I'm giving you my all. And I said, I feel like there is a dagger in my back right now and I am dying and I just need you to take that dagger out. Like, just take the dagger out and end this.
Just
In
end
all
it.
of this conversation, I am trying to own up to my part in whatever role I played in her cheating on me. And I'm like, I should have communicated my wants and preferences as it comes to intimacy. Should have communicated my
I feel like
long-term
if
goals.
anything, she over discussed her preferences.
I should have been communicating even when I knew the conversation was going to be uncomfortable. I prioritized, and I will admit, I prioritized making money over spending quality time together because I thought that we had the long-term financial goal of buying our house with the ADU for her friend. Like, I thought right now we were locking into bettering our future and we were going to have a year of uncomfortability.
Sorry to hear that, G.
So that
Thanks.
we would be able to do that. And again, I can work harder and I can make more money. She's a salaried employee. So I pick up jobs on the weekends. But even while we're having all of these open and vulnerable conversations, my brain just keeps going back to Kay because I remember they had been looking at apartments together. And I was like, oh my God, were you looking at apartments together for the two of you? And she's insistent. No, this has nothing to do with her. She broke up with her girlfriend and she needs a new place to stay. Okay. She had also turned down a job that
they both break up with their girlfriends at the same time.
was significantly more money than what she makes now. And I was like, oh my God, was that because you wanted to stay at your current location with Kay? She's insistent. No, this has nothing to do with her. I'm playing through all of these scenarios in my head. This is how stupid I was. When I was in Pensacola, I called her one night and she was out and
The Panhandle just does shit to people, you know?
about in downtown San Diego. I was like, look at my baby going out, having a good time. I'm so happy for you. I'm so proud of you getting out. You deserve this. You deserve this. Because she had been going through this season of hard with work. And I thought that it was just work. I thought she was overwhelmed with.
Would you nose align with her, Armani, to maybe cheer her up a little bit?
Work. So I give her so much grace and praise for pouring into herself.
Hey, it's me.
Because she had been having panic attacks. She had been having anxiety attacks. She had been kind of a nervous wreck as it related to work. But my empathy there was not that high because I had told her, quit that job. I had said, quit that job so many times. I told her if she needed to take 6 months off, take a year off, whatever. I got us. We're going to be fine. You know why she wouldn't quit that job?
That guy keeps recommending Space Jam to me. I mean, it's right on. The most lesbian breakup of my life.
Part 12 of my series where my partner cheated on me, blindsided me, and left me for her assistant. So at this point, we're still having this conversation. It is a 4-hour-long conversation going on about every little thing. I'm taking accountability.
Eric McHenry, Tribal Chief Edition.
For things in our relationship. She's taking accountability for things in our relationship. We both said it's like two people come into a relationship and you have these bags, and if you don't unpack your baggage together, then the bags just sit there. And I don't think we ever fully unpacked our bags. And so I'm telling her that I'm not leaving her. Everyone in her life leaves her, and I'm not gonna do it. So if she wants to
She's
leave,
like, I keep reminding her that everyone in her life leaves her, but I'll never leave her. That's manipulation, as Clarence would say.
me, she's gonna have to be the one to take the fucking dagger out of my back. And she starts crying and she's like, I don't know why you don't want to leave me. I'm like, I've put in this many years and this much love, and I know her. I don't want to get to know somebody else. Like, even now thinking about that, I don't want to get to know somebody else. I told her all of this. Like, I can't even think
I can't even think about looking at someone else. It makes me feel sick to my stomach. And so it hurts me that she was able to do that. And we talked about how consideration is the highest form of love. So I actually did social media for work for a little bit. I have a Instagram that I do like fitness content. I stopped posting on my
Would she have about 59K followers there and then 141K on TikTok?
Instagram because
And then her YouTube, for some reason, if this is even her official YouTube, is only 133 subscribers.
I didn't like getting external validation outside of my relationship. It felt gross to me. It felt icky to me. I didn't respond to people's DMs. I didn't play into any of their flirtatious messages. But consideration is
Don't
the
piss me
highest
off,
form of love.
freak.
And when I text people, I consider her. When I meet people in public, I talk about her. When I DM people on Instagram, I consider how that would be perceived by her and how she would feel if she read every single message that I send. We are not the type of people to go through each other's phones. I don't believe in going through people's phones. If I have to go through a phone, it's already done. I just asked, why didn't you ever consider me? She even goes on to tell me that my friend who works out at her gym always talks about how much I love her and how highly I speak of her, and she doesn't hear it from me personally. So I was, for the purpose of entertaining that, I pulled up my phone and I typed in the search bar, my wife. And I started reading her messages of what I say to other people about her and how I speak about her. Because while you're taking someone else's clothes off, I'm talking about how you're the greatest thing ever. And I don't think anyone recognizes how much I love and respect you. We talked about everything. We talked about my ex. We talked about her ex. I talked about, every single part of my trauma in my entire life, and still you chose to treat me like that, knowing what I've been through. And we just hashed through absolutely everything. And she still brought up, she compares our relationship to her relationship with her ex. And she knows that she has it good. And she just feels like she's self-sabotaging right now. She doesn't know why she's making the choices that she's making.
I don't know about that. South to West did say she had a lot of negative feedback on TikTok.
I tell her, I understand she is an avoidant. I have known that. And I recognize why she is the way she is. I understand her traumas. I understand her past relationship where she went through a lot. And I can't even say that person's name without triggering her. All throughout our relationship, if that name were brought up, she would have panic.
Well, she wouldn't have slept with guys.
Panic attacks throughout the night. And I would be the one getting her a wet washcloth, holding her, trying to talk her through the evening. But she wouldn't talk. She would just push it down and we would never bring the conversation up again. I don't push her to talk because I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to make her uncomfortable. But clearly these conversations needed to be had. We took a break for a little bit because the conversation was getting hard. We went downstairs. In that time, the bed in which I had ordered had gotten delivered. I take the bed upstairs and we kind of end on a note where I'm just like, what do you want? What do you want from me? Like, my hands are up and I'm just going to let you choose.
What's up,
at
corn
this
dog?
point because you know what I want. And I take the bed
Yeah, this will probably be a two-parter, and then that should wrap up the whole story, 2 streams.
Upstairs or the mattress, and I unpackage it. It's like one that comes in a box, and she's helping me. I was like, we can see if your new bed is comfortable. So we lay down on the bed and we pick our conversation back up. And I was like, I love you. I really love you and I really want to help you. I want to help you through this. I want to work through this, but I just need you to take the knife out of my back now. Like, if you're done, you're done. I can't keep doing this. I can't not eat. I can't not sleep.
Thanks, Harmony.
At this point, I had lost 14 pounds, 15 pounds. In total, I lost 16 pounds over the...
That's kind of McHenry coded. 13, 14, 15, 16 pounds. Who knows?
The duration of that. And I was like, I just need you to like show me a little bit of humanity here and just cut me loose. And she looks at me and she's like, I love you. And she kisses me and she tells me I'm so beautiful. And we just like are holding each other and our legs are intertwined.
Wow.
And she's kissing my knee and kissing my knee and kissing my knee. And she wipes away my tears and holds my face.
Well, she's kissing your knees?
And I was like, I didn't think you would ever be able to do that to me. I didn't think you'd ever be able to hurt me. And I was like, not my mama.
She cannot eat. She cannot sleep ever since the international terrorist organization known as K came in and took her woman.
Girl, like, why would you hurt me? And she said, don't say that. And she just starts bawling. And she's kissing my face and kissing my face. And she's like,
I like everything about this girl. I like her, the topic of it. I like the just non-stop yap.
I love you. I love you. I love
All
you.
of her little phrases.
I am so grateful for our years together. And she said, if you had to describe our years with one word, what would that be? And I said, comfortable. She said, yeah, comfortable. I was like comfortable, like I could breathe for the first time in my life. And she was like,
strap on Olympics.
The same. And I was like, my best memories are with you. All of my best memories are with you. And can you imagine a life without me in it? She said, I couldn't even begin to imagine a life without you in it. And I was like, we're still gonna be friends. Like we're good. And she was like, I can't imagine a life without you in it. She was like, I love you so much. I love everything about you. And she took my hand and she kissed every single scar that I have. She kissed all of my scars everywhere.
Wow.
She rubbed her hand on my cheeks and across every mole or freckle that I have on my body. And she was like, it was like she was studying me. It was 4 minutes at least of her just staring into my eyes and studying me, like looking over my entire body.
She's admitted, though, that she studied her socially. Now she's being studied physically. This is interesting.
It was like she was studying me. It was 4 minutes at least of her just staring into my eyes and studying me, like looking over my entire body. It was strange, but it felt like that was like the last time she would see me as a person that she loved.
Oh no.
So we just go back and forth and back and forth. I'm like, I love your blue eyes. And she's like, I love your brown eyes. And then she's like, your gray hairs. And I was like, that's from you. And she laughed. And I was like, do you think two people can find their way back to each other? And she was like, I do. I was like, I really hope it's us in the end. Like, I love you. And she just told me how much she loved me. And we just kissed and kissed and kissed and kissed. And it was just, it was nice, but it was sad. And I think that's
it was
when
hot in a sad way.
the flip switched. And she became a different person. And the flip switched.
The flip
and
switched,
she became
guys.
A different, that's when the flip switched. And she became a different person. She looks down at her watch and tells me she's got to get ready for this art exhibition.
Oh.
And asked me if I'd help her go get ready.
All right, let's watch one more. Part 13. I understand this is an HR issue. I have a... Oh, her name is K with the letter K. I gotcha. All right, here we go. Part 13. I understand this is an HR issue.
Part 13 of my partner cheating on me, blindsiding me, and left me for her assistant. So at this point, we just finished having our conversation. There's like
Anna.
some cute, funny, laughy comments in there. I was like, at least we had one kid. We had Joey, our dog, and so we're like making light of
Joey.
things. She looks down at her
Hold
watch.
on, she has a son named Joey. Did the dog pay cash for his doghouse?
and she tells me I got to get ready for this art exhibition. So
we're probably about halfway through right now, so we'll be able to wrap it up in a second stream.
this trainer at her gym is also an artist, and she's putting on this thing down in San Diego. She was like, I need to be there at whatever time. She was like, will you help me get ready for it? So I follow her into the bathroom. I'm sitting on the counter, and she picks out an outfit, and she comes out. And she was like, what do you think of this outfit? And I said, girl, you look like Easter Sunday. Let me help you. So I go into the closet, and we're like kissing and telling each other we love each other. And I was like, you got to be patient with me, baby, because this is only day 7 of,
Day 7 of reconciliation.
This is only day 7 of me knowing, like, that we weren't perfect. And you've had a while to process this, so just be patient with me. And she's like, of course.
Yeah, we're about, give or take, halfway through.
And she's like, can I?
She does on Instagram and TikTok, but on YouTube, at least on this account, this could be just a repost account, but it's like, it's just her name. But the only stuff on the YouTube is the breakup arc. So if you want to see her other stuff, you need to go to Instagram or TikTok.
I use your shower? And I was like, yeah, of course. I was like, we'll figure out the shower, we'll figure out the kissing, we'll figure out the I love yous.
We'll figure out the kissing.
Because we just keep kissing I love you, kissing I love you, kissing I love you. And so after I tell her that her outfit looks like she's going to Sunday service.
This is really new. Like, this was posted 9 days ago. I don't know when the breakup actually happened. I think she had mentioned that something was going on in April. So it could be the story could be a few months old.
I go in the closet and I grab something a little bit more suitable, and I literally help put her shirt on. I'm touching up her hair. I was like, you look so beautiful. I give her a kiss. I tell her I love her. So she gets ready to go. I walk her downstairs.
Maybe I can go clip some of it and we can do a social media deep dive.
Kiss her before she leaves. And she tells me she'll be done at like 8:30.
Armani's like, hell yeah, show the kissing.
So of course, I'm just gonna be at home. I had finished up meal prep stuff. I needed to go do some deliveries. And I have friends everywhere. At the end of our conversation,
I have friends everywhere.
We both had agreed we're not going to be nasty towards one another. We're not going to be vindictive towards one another. We genuinely love each other so much and just want to see each other win in life. So we agreed, like, we would never do anything to hurt one another in this, like, process. And she's adamant that she just needs to go figure herself out. So of course I can't hold you. Like, I'm just gonna let you go do what you need to do to get through that. So while she has told me that she is going to go work on herself because that is what she feels like she needs to do, and she really wants to figure out who she is and lean into that, and is adamant that there is absolutely nothing going on with Kay, my friend's eyes are everywhere. She thinks that
my friend's eyes are everywhere. That's very ominous. It's like, no matter where you go, I've got eyes on you.
She has friends, which she does, but I'm the one who manages the relationships with friends. I'm the one who reminds her of birthday parties. I am the one who reminds her of people's birthdays or anniversaries or whatever. I'm the one who makes dinner plans or plans to go out with people.
I'm the one who
knocks. I manage our social life in all of these years that we've been together. So I get a screen recording and a message saying, did you know A is with K right now? And
yeah, A is her ex, and then K is the assistant. I thought she was saying her name was K, like K-A-Y, but it's just, she's just saying the letter K.
And I didn't know, but I had anticipated that they would be in the same place because they both work for the same company and they both are together at this art exhibition. So I just said, yes, it is a work thing.
The art exhibition they went to, by the way, was the time that I showed OPC almost got arrested in public.
As far as I know, she is not talking to her. And then I get a video at dinner. It is already an hour past the time that she said the art exhibition was from.
So she's got an hour of unaccounted for time.
So, of course, going out to dinner after, fine. There are oysters in front of them in this video. And there's other people there, but I had a feeling that she didn't stop talking to her when she had told me that she had stopped talking to her. So earlier in the night, I think that we're in a really good place. So I had sent her a text, and I said, I hope you're having fun at the show and you made it safely.
She's got so much to say.
Talk. I had a couple of points to follow up on if you get home early enough, but I know we have time and we can always circle back another day. I had just processed a 4-hour conversation and there were just a few things that I wanted to discuss further. And she responded to me and said, the show is actually incredible and I am blown away.
I don't get it. If they never had any fights, then why? I just feel like this just feels like really deeply ingrained like anger and resentment. It doesn't really seem like would be sparked just by this one. I know it's a severe instance, but like she's really, for somebody who didn't have a single fight for 7 years, it seems like her energy level's pretty up there.
She said, yes, we can follow up on those points. When I tell you this conversation felt so nice and light and I felt better after we had it, I thought we were in such a good place and we were both going to focus on ourselves and hopefully be better human beings for each other. That's what my interpretation of it was. But I had responded to her and I said, I am so happy you went. I sat on that information from my friends of them going to dinner for about an hour.
Is this Cart Girl? No. Cart Girl is pretty spicy, though.
And
she does get an attitude occasionally.
I checked A's location, and I saw she was at Kay's house.
Oh, boy.
So I call her, and I said, where are ya? And she said, I just dropped Kay off. So I paused and was quiet. I was like, did you kiss her? And she said, yes. I said, did you ever stop talking to her? And she said, no.
Oh, boy.
I was like, that's so shitty. And I hung up. And then
Armani, what do you think about this revelation that her ex never stopped talking to the assistant, even though she said she would and was supposed to be focused on making the relationship work?
Texted her and said, I am going to heal the right way.
Yes, what A did to Erin was wrong.
I know you have some deep-rooted spiritual issues right now, but we just talked about focusing on ourselves and pouring into ourselves right now. I can't control what you do, and I
pouring into ourselves
won't even try to. Consideration is what we had talked about. But I think the only thing you consider is your impulses. I said, I really want to believe the words that come out of your mouth. I want to believe that you're the person that I thought you were. Otherwise, this all feels like the last 7 years of my life were a lie. You saved my life. Those were words that she said to me. And she said, you saved my life. When we were having that conversation, she looked at me while she was holding me and she was like, you saved me. I wouldn't be the person that I am without you. You saved my life. And I fully know that I saved her life.
Oh boy.
I'm leaving a huge part of that story out because it's not my trauma to tell, but
maybe we'll get it by episode 25.
I saved her life and this is how she repays me. So I quoted, you saved my life. And then I was like, but you don't even respect me in return. And then I texted back again and said, I texted your boss I said, just so you have the heads up, walking in tomorrow, I'm going to bed. I had already told her at the very beginning that I was going to tell her boss, but I ended up not doing that because
Yeah, remember she told her that she could either resign of her own accord or she would cause a spectacle?
she accepted that other position. And so that got her away from...
There's some TikTok content like this, yeah. It's really difficult to parse through, though. TikTok, it has a lot more performative people, too, I feel like.
this whole mess.
Or, like, obviously performative people. And also, like, the e-begging on TikTok is 1,000,000 times worse than it is on YouTube.
And I sent her a screenshot of the message that I sent to the boss. And that message said, hey, I'm just letting you know that A cheated on me with K. I had told her I was going to...
Oh my God, imagine sending the boss a message and saying that K banged your wife. Like, no.
Go in and talk to you, but my heart is shattered and I truly don't have the energy. I understand this is an HR issue. Do with it whatever you need. I'm devastated that 7 years is worth sleeping with a coworker. I said, there's the text so you know what was said.
Anytime people complain about e-begging on YouTube, I always think about Chef Carl. All right, let's have a palate cleanser real quick. Hold on, let's see. Okay, so we just finished part 13. So the total series runs 22 parts, and then 23 hours ago, she posted a debrief on the breakup. So we can wrap this up in a second stream for sure. One of her videos is titled, Take Your Shit Where You Lay Your Head at Night. Okay. Cognitive dissonance. Okay, hang on. Let's watch a palate cleanser, though, to ease us out. Then I'll be back in the morning for JCW, of course. No, not Flora, not this time. I thought we should keep it within, like, the... If I can find it. Well, where the hell is it at? I don't want to have to search for it because it would bring up a lot of probably stuff I didn't want to see, or that we can't show. What happened to that video? Well, now I can't find it. I'm sorry. Looks Max. Here's a video called Looks. It's too long to watch today, but it says Looks Maxing is spiritually Israeli. I thought for sure that I added that. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't see it. Oh well, no palate cleanser, sorry. I can't believe I didn't have it in here anywhere. Oh, I found it. Here we go. I don't understand like the I don't really understand the Batman masks in this one, but anyway, all right, I'm gonna go. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be back in I'll be back in the morning for JCW. But thank you so much for hanging out and that crazy support earlier. We got a ton of new emotes, but I really do appreciate it. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you soon.